So we can do what's Hondo on the mic. From Leo's Paradise, random stream drop like a Dragon Ball fight. No lie, plan stream stacking up, but here's a twist in time. Freestyling on the deck like Luffy's punchlines. Up the channels faster than Zoro sword swings. Gaming pop culture, it's the chaos he brings. Talking movie reboots, superhero hype. Hondo passing the mic, now Bishop's in sight. Cutting glitch clean, frame by frame, I align. Laying bass lines heavy, keep the rhythm divine. Dropping 5 videos, can't keep up with the pace. Pass the mic back, Leo's leading the chase. Off the rails, no script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Playing a knob, Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. No script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. The rails, no script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life.
Welcome back to the lunch hour. How are you vital idols doing? I hope you slept good. I hope you had a good time last night. I hope Neon Leon was a blast for you. But if you got to work today, if it's one of those, let's say you ain't lucky enough to get Saturday off, then that's what we're here for. So yes, and let me tell you, there's plenty to talk about, because there was a lot more that could have been said on Neon Leon last night, but we need to save some of that goodness for today, right? So first of all, let's see who we got in the house right now. I see we're starting off strong. Let's see how many people we got live right now. Let's see, there's 8 folk. Piranha Powder's in the house. The Fringe Diaz streams so late you missed the debut of the new YouTube main name. Mike is dead. He became one with the Book of Mormon. What? My new YouTube main. Wait, is Fringe Diaz and Mike that fucking political name I don't even remember, same person? Because I see collective post-wall Karens, which I immediately knew was Mike. So yeah, we the post-wall Karens are here now. That's pretty good. I do like that. Although I think that, let me be 100% honest, I think it sends the wrong message, because just like we were talking about last night, the collective shouts, they're a symptom. And they're a puppet, like. But we're going to talk about it. I don't know if we're going to talk about this or not. I don't know if that's on the docket today. We did like an hour and 20 minutes on it last night. We'll see. Either way, I like it. You love to see it. How you doing, Collective Wall Post Karens? Buster Gundo in the house. Alyssa Clown Conte. Kajinkies. I was watching Interstellar till 3 a.m. Nice. Base. You love to see it. I have to go watch Fantastic Four tomorrow. Maybe today. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I think tomorrow. I've already got so many streams today. I've got this show. Then we got Saturday Night Hypnosis. Zach's show. Then I'll be streaming with Sydney in the middle of the night. So I'm probably saying Fantastic Four for tomorrow. But I do have to see it tomorrow, because we're going to be talking about it on Gucci's show. I wasn't going to see it, but then you guys, decided to be very generous with some donations to make me have to see it. Hey, what up, Serranos? How you doing? Yeah, I'm absolutely normal. We're doing the lunch hour stream. We're supposed to be a whole lot more chill, a whole lot more vibey. But yeah, I'm absolutely feeling good. Smash the Diaz debut wife. God damn it. Really? Dude is now he's stealing the fucking waifu battle shtick? Alright, fuck it. We doing it. I don't even give a damn anymore, alright? Because I'm not gonna be doing a waifu battle. I'm not so like inept as to feel like I have to rip off Hypno, but I am going to institute a similar idea. One that I've been thinking about doing for a while now, but I was like, you know what? No, I can't be like Atreus. I can't be like Kata. I can't just steal from Hypno. But you know what? If Smash is gonna do it as well, then I am gonna bring back Fandom Wars. Or I don't even know if I'm gonna call it Fandom Wars, but basically it's gonna be, similar concept, but about just like superpower characters fighting each other. That's what a son of a bitch. Hypnotica. What the fuck is Hypnotica? who is Hypnotica? Because I mean, that just sounds like you know, Hypnotic and Rapture, like one of the regular viewers. I don't know that I like that. Is my camera off center? Did my camera get moved or something? There we go. That's better. Anyway, we got plenty to talk about. Hail just the jizz. Let's go. Yes, grifting indeed. In fact, let's talk about the the gift that keeps on giving. Oh, you love to see it. All right. The controversial women-only tea app that has reportedly suffered a data breach. Guys, I wouldn't really call it a data breach or a hack, so much so as this dipshit corporation hosted like private photos on a public server. So, yo, Zax, how you doing? Users from 4chan posted personal info they found through an exposed database. Now, we'll look at the censored versions because I don't want to be accused of doxing or anything. But this situation is funny as shit. So we got for those of you who can't see, here's just a long and short of it. Basically, there's this app called the T app, and its sole purpose and sole existence is for women to talk ridiculous shit on dudes. Like it's just, you sign up for this app, you get on there, and you talk about how much you hate men, and you talk about the patriarchy, and you talk about all your women fifis, and gay shit like that. Just the ultimate man bashing app. However, to sign up, you had to prove you were a woman. So what'd you do? You had to send a picture of your ID, because your ID has got your sex on it, right? Unless you're one of those, like, gay states or countries or whatever that, like, you can use your fake gender if you're a dude, like, pretending to be a woman, and they update on that your driver's license. But the point is, 99% of these, by what I can tell reading about this, they are real women. Well, they're, I don't know if I would qualify these as women, because women are supposed to be a creature of beauty, a creature of elegance, a creature of grace. And these are a whole lot of, like, walruses and elephants and, what are those little ugly, bacteria that have, like, the asshole faces called? Like, bacteria bears or some shit? Y'all get what I'm saying. Anyway, so what this says here is driver's licenses and face pics, get the fuck in here before they shut it down. T-App uploads all user verification submissions to its public Firebase storage bucket with the prefix attachments. And then, again, when I say censored version, we got, URLs and whatnot blocked out. That way people aren't... Again, no doxing. I'll just put it that way. Yes, you sent T-App your face and driver's license, they doxed you publicly. No authentication, no nothing. It's a public bucket. I've written a Python script which scrapes the bucket, downloads the images page by page, so you can see it all and then I post the URL. The censoring and parcel was added by me. The images in the bucket are raw and uncensored. Nice, anonymous app. This is what happens when you entrust your personal information to a bunch of vibe coding. I don't even know what vibe coding is, but vibe coding DEI hires. I won't be replying to this or making any more threads about it. I did my part. God bless y'all. Anon. Now, I have no idea. None. What vibe coding or vibe coded or whatnot is. That's a new one for me. But what I do know is these some ugly bitches. Hold on, here we go. Yeah, these some ugly bitches. Like, these are the women talking shit about dudes, guys. These are the women talking shit about dudes. Like we got tons of fun right here. We got tons of fun. She talking shit. We got old tons of fun. We got aged out tons of fun. She be talking shit. We got doesn't know how lighting works, or maybe does know and is so embarrassed to even show it on a website for other women Tons of fun. Oh, I forgot. I gotta throw you guys' chat up on screen when I'm in this view. Sorry, one moment here. Where is? You'll get the chat. We got the chat. 13 minutes later. Ah, no, you're good, Twisted Reality. You absolutely good. No worries at all. No worries at all. But yeah, this is and it gets better. Let's see. Got other links here. Ah, right. Okay, so you thought that first page was bad. We got, guys, look. I've never been one for saying makeup should be illegal. I mean, however, looking at some of these, like, raw, uncensored photos. Here we go. This is the first one so far to be above like a 2. I'd say this is probably a IRL 5, IRL 6, something like that, you know? So, it took a long time to get there. And you know that she's not even really IRL 5 or IRL 6, because even if she might be conventionally attractive or like on the road to conventionally attractive, for one, you know she's crazy because she's wearing a Stephen King's It shirt. You also know she's crazy because it's in the eyes. And strike numero 3, strike Trey, you know, she's on an app designed for talking shit to men. And was just willing to send her information, her photo, her driver's license. Let's see, there's more. Let's take a look at this one. Alrighty. Yeah, that's the face of a calm, normal, rational woman who I think would have the best opinions on men. No, I'm not day drunk at all. Again, the lunch hour is supposed to be a lot more chill, a lot more zen. Anyway, yeah, this is amazing. But here's the best part, guys. Here's my favorite part of this whole story. The weight of a lot of these women on their driver's license. 200 pounds, 260 pounds, 190 pounds at 5'3". Female, height 5'6", 182 pounds. Oh yeah. Hey guys, I'm feeling pretty good about this hack. It's not really even a hack. These folks are just so inept. They were so bad at their job. They hosted all these photos, again, of like your driver's license information on a public server. Yeah, it's exactly Barry Stroud. Breach or correction, 100%. But it gets even better than that. Driver's license leaked today from the T-App. Now, again, this was actually yesterday, but I didn't bring it up on Neon yesterday. And been uploaded to a searchable map. This may be the worst private information leak I've ever seen, guys. Woo, this is, these bitches is everywhere, dude. These bitches are everywhere. Like, this is, actually, they're not everywhere. They're not everywhere. Right here is safe. This little tiny section of America seems pretty safe. Yeah, what up, Diz? You say testing chat? I can see it. I can see your... Oh! Hey, that's weird. I am noticing a difference between YouTube chat and what OBS is saying. Because Kenneth runs Domingo... Unless, hold on. Live chat. Let me change it to live chat. There we go. So Kenneth runs Domingo, I didn't see until just now. Because I had to switch chat setting. Good grief, they look like a bunch of unattractive dry fruit cakes. Some of them have... I mean, okay, to be fair, maybe that one didn't come on because, like, the swearing and stuff. Maybe there's auto censor there. Huh. Either way, I just changed the chat settings on the OBS side, and I am seeing chats I wasn't seeing now. That's weird. That's interesting. I wonder why that's the case. Anyway, Andrew Wardnight, how you doing? Sleeping Nova's in the house, how you doing? But yeah, this guys is an epidemic. There's no other word for it. There's no other better the thing to call it. This is an epidemic of unattractive hoes who mad. This is the map of hoes mad, and you'll love to see it. Holy shit. I'm not gonna go, like, there's not much to say about the story aside from, like, it's just funny as shit that all these, you know, horrible women, and not horrible in the sense that, like, they can say whatever they want. They can be on this app and talk their shit and hate men and hate the patriarchy and all sorts of shit like that. I just mean horrible physically. Like let's be real. There's a certain level of shit you can get away with if you're attractive. I think we saw like one photo that like maybe, just maybe could get away with some horrible shit and be attractive. So yeah, all in all, that was funny. That was enjoyable. I'm glad these women got their info leaked, sort of, and just, again, hoes mad. But we were supposed to do this on Thursday. And then I forgot to stream Thursday. This is the wrong, hold on a sec. There we go. This is the one we were supposed to do on Thursday. And I forgot to stream Thursday. Our boy Nick from the Plot Strikes Back. He released a video. Now, he doesn't normally do that. Not this sort of type of video, the heavily edited, heavily scripted. But it's an important concept. It's an important topic. Why masculinity in cinema matters. Now, I haven't watched this yet. I told him if it was alright with him, I would like to watch it on the lunch hour. I'd like to react to it. I'd like to get, you know, my chats, thoughts, opinions, the whole nine. And he thought that was a lovely idea. Only he didn't say lovely because he's not a fucking homo. But I did, because I am. So, we're going to watch the new video from The Plot Strikes Back, our boy Nick, and we're going to see if we can figure out why masculinity in cinema matters. Before we do, what up, Dex, our best mod in the whole damn land. Appreciate you showing up this early, given that you're on California time. Let's go.
There is a man who stands at the edge of chaos and order. He carries the burden no one else will. He makes the decision no one else can. And when the world turns away, he stands. This isn't just about strength or domination. It's responsibility, legacy, and sacrifice. Masculinity is often understood because we confuse loudness with leadership or aggression with strength. But true masculinity...
Wait a sec. Did I misunderstand? Masculinity is understood because or did he say misunderstood? Hold on, I'm going to roll those back for a moment, guys. Give me 1 sec.
We confuse loudness with leadership or aggression with strength or no one else can. And when the world turns away, he stands. This isn't just about strength or domination. It's responsibility, legacy, and sacrifice. Masculinity is often understood because we confuse loudness with leadership or
Am I the only one not quite sure what he means with that? I maybe I'm just not getting it. But I don't think. I don't know, maybe I'm retarded. Does anybody in the chat think that there's a, I don't want to say typo, but like an error in the script there? I mean, I get what he is trying to say, and I agree with what he's trying to say, and maybe I'm just mishearing it, but either way, what up, Emily Kruger? How you doing? And what up, Little Miss Anonymous? Appreciate you.
aggression with strength. But true masculinity runs deeper. At its core, masculinity is about responsibility, restraint, and the desire to improve the world, even if the improvement doesn't benefit you directly. Masculinity builds tools, families, systems, and legacies. It doesn't destroy for pleasure, it endures to preserve. And that it...
Would anybody disagree with Nick's, again, The Plot Strikes Back, would anybody disagree with his assessment of masculinity thus far? Yeah, he said often understood, which probably should have... Yes. Okay, so it wasn't just me, Serranos. That's what I thought as well. Should have been misunderstood. And to be fair, like I said, Nick doesn't usually do these types of videos, like the scripted, edited, whatnot, and I'm enjoying it so far. I am. But I want to break this down with you guys. I actually want to have this discussion. And yes, he is cooking. Like, I definitely agree with his assessment of masculinity thus far. I think that it's... what's the best way to put it? It's idealized in cinema, but just like everything is idealized in cinema. Everything is taken to the extremes for entertainment value. But what he's saying, it can be, you know, stripped down and applied. You can extrapolate what he's saying here and apply it to your everyday life as a husband, as a father. However, you want to see a grandiose version of it in cinema, because that is what, you know, makes for the best stories, interesting stories. So, yeah, well, we're gonna be talking about Pedro a little bit later, Netflix. Don't jump the gun on me. All right, let's keep going.
Instinct to create structure from chaos is one of the most vital elements, not just in society, but in storytelling. Masculinity is taking action over apathy, having discipline over comfort, and choosing purpose over passivity. Every great story gives one of these three things: affirmation, which is a mirror; inspiration, which is a call to act; and aspiration, a challenge to grow beyond what we are. Masculine characters
I don't know that I agree that it has one of those three things. I think that actually any good story probably will have two of those. Let me wind it back. Give me one sec.
One of these three things: affirmation, which is a mirror; inspiration, which is a call to act; and aspiration, a challenge to grow beyond what we are. Masculine.
Nah, I think that a great story would actually need to have two of the three. Is there a way to raise next volume? It's already up. Hold on. I can raise it on the OBS side. Is it really, is it low for you guys? Is Nick's volume low? Hey, Johnny boy, how you doing? Appreciate you. I don't know if you were, gone from the stream last night by the time I was talking about the Indiana Jones skin you made, but yes, I enjoyed that very much. Thank you. This is why they're pushing Pedro so hard these days. They want effeminate masculinity. They want effeminate masculinity. I mean, it's kind of an oxymoron, but I can hear him, but you're way louder. Working on Leon Bandana. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so I raised his audio. We'll see if that's good, if that's better now. However, like I was saying, I think that you probably need two of the three, you know, inspiration, aspiration, affirmation. I don't think one is enough to cut it, but to be fair, usually inspiration and aspiration will go together, because if you aspire to be greater and other people are watching you in this sort of masculine journey to be greater, it will then in turn inspire them. So I think that inspiration and not affirmation, inspiration and aspiration do go in tandem. Yo, what up, cookies?
Characters, when portrayed with depth and principle,
is this better
almost
for Nick?
always gives us the third. The father who protects his children. Depth and principle almost always gives us the third. The father who protects his children against impossible odds. The leader who sacrifices glory for his men. The flawed man who chooses duty over comfort. These are stories not of dominance, but of aspiration, which is the highest form of storytelling. And it's not just about who we are, but who we could be if we accepted the burden. This is strength that inspires, not to control others, but to control oneself. Not to win glory, but to carry.
Well, again, I get what Nick is saying, and maybe he's going to expound on it further. It's only a minute and 30 seconds in. But to control others is actually an important part of masculinity, so long as it's done, because there are going to be people weaker than you that lack a certain level of self-control, things to that effect, that could be good people, but if they are reined in, if they are under someone's voluntarily under someone's control, I should say, if they submit themselves. So controlling others is not inherently a negative trait of masculinity, but you can only do that if you already have your own levels of self-control, I'd wager. And again, if that person is willingly submitting because they know that it's better for you to be in control than them. But in general, I get what Nick is saying.
Responsibility. Masculinity is neither loud nor reckless. It is disciplined, intentional, and often silent. We see it in the man who mentors others, the father who worked the job he hates to give his kids a better life, the soldier who fights not just because he wants to, but because someone has to do it. And whether in real life or fiction, masculinity at its best is defined by its sacrificial instinct, which is to...
You know what? Props to my boy Nick for throwing in clips from To Kill a Mockingbird, specifically Atticus Finch. What an unsung hero of masculinity. Like, because we live in this modern era that, much like Netflix Forum was saying, not only glorifies, effemination and emasculation of men. We also just live in a time where everything is like I'm sure you all know, very TikTok brain, TikTok oriented, short attention span, instant gratification oriented, and the great works of literature or filmmaking from the black and white era, again, like To Kill a Mockingbird, often go unsung. But Atticus Finch is such a brilliant character for masculinity. I wonder if Nick has that on the Masculine Monday docket at some point in the future. I would definitely need to be in that episode. Anyway, again, it has not really anything to do with the video aside from the editing for having, again, a very good long shot of Atticus Finch in there. But I'm impressed. Well done, Nick.
Carry the weight, to leave when no one else will, to protect what matters the most. And in the end, masculinity leaves something behind, not as a boast, but as a legacy. Now, masculinity and femininity are not at odds, as they're fundamentally complementary forces.
I also want to ask you guys a question about that statement. It says masculinity leaves something behind, not not as a boast, but as a legacy. Would you also say that it is possible that being a truly masculine would mean accepting that you might not leave behind a legacy, but that's okay because you did what you needed to do, you did what was right because it was right, because it was what was needed done, even if it doesn't leave a legacy, even if it goes unsung or unnoticed? Because I would wager that is also masculinity. It's just far less celebrated. Hey, how you doing, Subaru, Ravdad, Weiner, Blight? I take it Nerd Wars is finished. I'm seeing a lot of folks come in here that weren't here a moment ago. So yeah, Nerd Wars finished. Shout out Erwin. How you doing? Truly appreciate it, my man. All right, yeah. Looks like Erwin's finished. You'd love to see it. Well, for those of you that don't know, I'll give you a rundown of what we're doing. Our boy Nick from The Plot Strikes Back. Needing to leave a legacy is gay. Well, I don't think that Nick is saying that masculinity, that being a masculine individual means you need to leave a legacy. I think he means that it will leave a legacy inherently because of the positivity, because of the effects it has on those around you. Anyway, so yeah, we were watching a video from our boy Nick, The Plot Strikes Back, called Why Masculinity Matters in Cinema. Yep, I figured that you were here after Nerd Wars right now. Well, again, appreciate all the Nerd Wars refugees. Let's go.
Of each other. They're like the sun and the moon, each with its own light, each essential in its own way. Where masculinity protects, femininity nurtures. Where masculinity ventures into the unknown, femininity brings others home. Masculinity brings a structure and femininity brings meaning. The best stories don't elevate one over the other. They show the harmony that exists where both are on.
Let's think about that for a moment. I actually don't know if I agree with Nick on this one. Let me play it back and I'll tell you guys what I mean.
Home. Masculinity in its own way. Where masculinity protects, femininity nurtures.
Now that I agree with. Masculinity protects, femininity nurtures. 100% in agreement.
Masculinity ventures into the unknown. Femininity brings others home.
Once again, I agree. Masculinity ventures into the unknown. Femininity bringing people home. It's his third point that I don't know if I agree with.
Masculinity brings a structure and femininity brings meaning. The best story.
Now, masculinity brings structure, femininity brings meaning. I don't know that I agree with that. I don't. Maybe this is some soy boy beta cuck mentality, but I don't know that masculinity, brings and then maintains structure on its own. I do think that you need both. Like that is a masculinity, femininity, yin yang situation where you do need both. I don't like masculinity might create structure. Like I agree with the creating structure aspect 100%. But something created needs to be maintained. And I think that the quiet assistance of the maintaining is actually a feminine aspect, Behind every good man is the woman that supports him from the shadows, things like that. That does maybe some of the more in the forefront things to the children or to the world at large, while the man works on the hard stuff in the background, like that again often goes unsung. Yeah, I agree with the idea of masculinity creating structure, but when it comes to that structure being maintained, this is just me. I don't know that it's only masculinity that does so. I think that is one of the few things that is a joint effort. Now thank you for sharing Nick's link. Yeah, I was gonna talk about Nick and his account when this video is done. But yes, drop links away. I love to see it. Thank you. Great mod work.
Stories don't elevate one over the other. They show the harmony that exists where both are honored effectively and correctly. Let's take Aragorn and Arwen from Lord of the Rings, for example. Aragorn fights, he leads, and sacrifices, not for power, but for a future worth preserving. Arwen gives that future shape, heart, and permanence. Aragorn brings order to chaos.
See, okay. Nick just hit on what I was talking about. I don't know if he did it intentionally. Maybe he just didn't use word choice that I agree with when he was initially talking about it. But let's roll this back, because what was I talking about when talking about maintaining that structure?
Arwen gives that future shape, heart, and permanence. Aragorn
gives that future shape, heart, and permanence. That is the maintaining of the structure that was created by masculinity that I'm referring to. So I actually think that maybe I was onto something, and maybe Nick agrees, he just used different verbiage than I did, because yes, Arwen maintaining the structure created by the masculinity is femininity, and that's not a bad thing, because like he was saying, you need both. Like I was saying, you need both. It's the yin yang. But okay, you know what? You love to see it. Feel like your boy got all preemptively philosophical for a moment, and then the video confirmed my bias. Based. Nick, you were a real one. You were Jim. Saint Hugo, how you doing, my man?
brings order to chaos, and Arwen gives that order beauty and soul. This isn't about limiting roles here. It's about celebrating purposes. Masculinity and femininity are both vital, and when either is erased from storytelling, the story loses its center. Modern entertainment, however...
Yes, exactly. When either. That's the important part that he said when either is erased. Because as much as we want to bag on women and whatnot, because, you know, modern women suck, and because, let's be real, it's fun and it's funny. What did we just spend the first segment of the show doing? Bagging on modern fucking women who joined this app that was exclusively to shit-talk dudes. You actually do need both. It is the yin and the yang. So, yeah, Nick pointing out that you can't really have masculinity without femininity. Because, let's be real, without femininity, what is there worth using said masculinity to even protect? It sort of all goes out the window without femininity as a force to protect. Confucianism used to respect the yin and yang and got manipulated, and women's part became undervalued in Korea. I don't know shit about Korea, so I'm not going to speak to that, but I'll take your word for it. Hey, how you doing, Valkyrie? Appreciate you.
Has begun to blur those lines in a way that undermines the masculine rather than complementing it. It has shifted away from heroes who offer us guts and glory.
I think that we would pretty much all agree with that. Modernity has femininity undermining masculinity. I don't think there's anything controversial about that statement, despite what Anita Sarkeesian would tell you.
Those who carry the weight, confront danger, and endure suffering, and replace them with the versions that lean too far into the feminine, where our male heroes once drove us to be more than we are and to take the beaten road for the sake of protecting what's necessary. They are now often overly humbled, graceful, and submissive. Instead of being protectors or leaders, they're reduced to serving as emotional pillars or sidekicks to feminine arcs. I
said before, guys, and I'll say it again. I truly think this is going to be a purely opinion-based statement. Indiana Jones 5 is truly my least favorite film ever made. Like, I have seen Nazi propaganda films that were better films than fucking Indiana Jones 5. I hate it. I hate it with every fiber of my being. It is the most glaring insult, not only to Indy as a character, not only to Indy's legacy, but to the idea of masculinity that Nick is referring to in this video. Like, god damn.
Doing so, cinema doesn't celebrate balance. It replaces one strength with another and calls the loss progress. At a time when an increasing number of boys and young men are being raised without fathers, the need for culturally relevant role models has never been greater. Cinema,
Hugo, I will address that, but I will address that when this video is done.
when done right, can help fill that gap by portraying men who embody integrity, strength, and accountability. In films like Dead Poet Society, we can clearly see this with Robin Williams' character, John Keating, as he steps into the lives of fatherless and emotionally distant young men and challenges them to think for themselves.
All right, Nick, you ain't gonna like this part, but I gotta be honest. While Nick is correct about, like, Robin Williams' role in this film being that of a masculine individual, and not that it's bombastic or like someone said earlier about like the big muscles and whatnot, but because it's about bringing in that necessary father role that all men need. I agree with what he's saying. I also think you could have absolutely used a better movie because Dead Poet Society is one of the most pretentious, wham, boo-hoo, piece of shit, loser fucking movies of all time. Like, I fucking hate this movie, dude. I can't stand Dead Poet Society. It is such pretentious, trite garbage. But to be fair, two things can be true. All that can be true about the movie, and Robin Williams' portrayal of positive masculinity in a more subdued fashion can also be true. So yeah, there's that. What up, Obi Dean?
Take responsibility and live.
Blue collar loser says, Leon, it's not your fault. That's all right. That was funny. Maybe this movie's worth existing purely for that joke. Thank you, blue collar. Appreciate you.
Live with passion and purpose. Cinema is culture's reflection and compass. When it portrays masculinity with respect, it teaches boys how to become men and men how to become leaders. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we saw this often, just to name a few, such as Maximus as Gladiator, John McClane in
I would say this goes back beyond the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like, you could take this back to, well, if the video is titled Why Masculinity in Cinema Matters, so you can take this back to the inception. Good Will Hunting. There we go. Not hunting. You can take this back to the inception of cinema. Like, we always had strong, masculine, well-respected concepts of masculinity going back to the 30s with, one of my favorite movies, The Most Dangerous Game. Like, I think I was talking about this on, was it Zach's stream? I think it was Zach's. Someone was doing a most underrated movie tier list. And of course, me being, fucking pretentious film scholar Leon brought up a movie from the 1930s, and that was The Most Dangerous Game. But like, yes, the 70s, 80s, and 90s gave us, like, absolutely banger movies. But look to sci-fi movies of the 50s, cheesy as they may be. Who was always in control? Some strong male that was like sure, maybe he was a scientist. But the scientists of the 1950s in those movies could beat the shit out of the scientists in 2010 movies. Like, so yeah, I would say it goes back even further. It's because masculinity as a concept has always been respected and loved and understood throughout human history. Now, obviously, they say that things like this ebb and flow. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, I don't know why I would have reason to doubt it. So yeah, a lot of what do they call? What's that science called? Like the study of people and cultures and whatnot. Someone's going to say it. I'm gonna feel retarded. Man, the science of studying human connections and through history. Damn. While I'm waiting for someone in the chat to say it, to be fair though, Nielsen wasn't terribly muscled and Forbidden Planet. But again, it's not being about, okay, yes, not all fucking anthropology. Thank you, Rebnat Scuba. Anthropology. Yeah, a lot of anthropologists say that stuff like this ebbs and flows. Like, you have these reset periods of, like, waning masculinity, and that's what leads to the downfall of nations. Like, that's what led to Rome, the fall of Rome and things to that effect. And it's a slow fall. Like, people talk about the fall of Rome like it happened overnight, when really it was, like, like over a 200-plus year period. And maybe that's true throughout other, cultures in history. I got no reason to doubt it. But point is, by and large, through the majority of human existence, masculinity its role has been inherently understood because it is a survival mechanic. We've evolved to be like this. So it would make sense, of course, at the inception of Hollywood and the inception of this new way of storytelling that, yeah, masculinity would be treated with reverence and respect. And we're in this waning period of it being, devalued. Are we on the upswing from that? I don't know. I hope so, but we'll see.
Die Hard, William Wallace in Braveheart, Michael Corleone in The Godfather. These men weren't flawless, but they were purposeful. They stood for something, and they bore the cost. In recent years, masculine characters have often been sidelined, parodied, or softened. Strength is framed as toxic, leadership is mocked, and fathers, if present, are turned into fools. But without...
If present being a very key factor here. Like, think of all those Disney movies back in the day, right? All those Disney princess movies, shit like that. Who always died? Usually the mother, not the father. If not both. Sometimes it's both. But definitely the mother. This whole role reversal of, like, the dad being the one that dies and all being raised by a single mom. They don't even realize that they're, portraying these, or maybe even worse, maybe they do realize they're, portraying these effeminate boys and shit like that didn't actually grow up in the theaters. Like, it's sickening. It's sad. We need to go back to the era of Hollywood where we killed off moms and not dads.
Masculinity, stories lose their spine. Conflict becomes hollow, and the sacrifice becomes a spectacle. Masculine storytelling is not exclusionary, it's essential. When done right, it affirms identity, inspires responsibility, and awakens aspiration. We need masculine heroes, not just for the entertainment, but for identity, legacy, and hope. Because when cinema honors masculinity, it doesn't silence others, it elevates everyone. Masculinity is not the enemy of progress. It is the foundation of growth. And when we tell masculine stories with...
See, and that harkens back to what we were saying earlier about masculinity being the catalyst for structure. You need a strong structure for there to be growth. Like, when building a skyscraper, you don't just start fucking building it. You have to lay a foundation. And once the foundation is laid, then you can begin to build the structure, the skyscraper. Then it grows. So, yeah, exactly.
Honesty and depth, we remind the world what it means to build, protect, and lead, not for power, but for purpose. I hope you enjoyed this video breaking down why masculinity in cinema is important and essential to our culture. If you'd like to learn more and see more as we break down movies on Masculine Mondays, my live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll see you there.
Yep, that was good. I like that. That was a good video. Once again, I know that it was already done. Actually, you know what? Since Nagano already linked Nick's channel, I'm going to go ahead and link this video. Y'all give it a like, just like I'm doing. And if you have not subbed to Nick, for whatever reason, if you are not subbed to my boy, The Plot Strikes Back, guys, he is criminally undersubbed. 441 subs. This dude should easily be monetized. He's not. This is a great video. 369 views over 3 days for a channel his size. That ain't bad. That's pretty good. But I feel like we can do that better. I feel like we can pump his numbers up. Yeah, exactly. Rick Costa's correct. Let's get Nick to 1,000. I'm going to start doing this thing because on these Monday stream or these lunch hour streams, most of the videos I react to are either found by me or requested by you guys. But I think I'm going to start one video in all these streams reacting to something from one of our buddies here in the sphere or something like that, giving my thoughts on it. Because sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree. There are times where we're hypnotic, and I wildly disagree. Maybe I want to react to one of his. Like, point is, let's get Nick to 1,000. At least let's give him out fucking 500 so that he can get some monetization up in this bitch. It's kind of criminal. This video is not earning him any sort of scratch. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was a sick video. I actually think it could have been longer. There was, at least one issue that Serranos and I found in terms of the typo in the script when he said understood instead of misunderstood. But again, we understand what he was trying to say. What up, Ron is right. Yeah, I quite enjoyed this. It felt more like an old world YouTube video with the editing and whatnot. And also, I will, yeah, give the video a like. Don't just click it, like, don't just click on the link, give it a like, then click off, because not having retention hurts the video's performance. If they see an influx of people clicking on it, then going away, it's gonna, like, not be recommended in the algorithm. And I think this video is absolutely worth being recommended. So yeah, give the video a like, give it a watch, even if it's just on mute in the background or whatnot, since we've already seen it while this stream is going. That way you can get pushed out there. And let's get Nick to 500. Also, Nick's Monday streams that happen directly after Countercast are great, because there's a million YouTube channels out there that break down movies. I mean, and that's not a bad thing. I love doing it on Niat's show. I love Mischief Mayhem movies, you know, from Cannoli Sasquatch and whatnot. I love Vex's channel, but there's so many channels out there that do, like, traditional movie reviews and discussion and analysis. But Nick's is unique in that every movie that is picked for Masculine Mondays, it's not a review of the movie. We don't do movie reviews on Masculine Mondays. We review and dissect specifically the masculinity of the film and whether it's present, whether it's positive, things like that. And they are wild and fun and hilarious streams, and often they go for hours. So yeah, I mean, Nick is doing The Wrestler, for example, this coming Monday. And The Wrestler's a good movie. You could absolutely do a review of The Wrestler. Or you could hyperfixate on just the masculinity of the movie The Wrestler and dedicate the entire live stream to that concept. It's great. So yeah, I'm gonna do a quick refresh and see if Nick went up in subs, and if he didn't, I'm gonna be very disappointed in all of you.
Great story.
Let's see. Hey, you got at least one sub. At least one sub. Whoever that was, based. Well done. Went from 441 to 442. You'll love to see it. So yeah, all in all, great video. Can't wait to tell Nick what I thought about it, because I told him, like I said, that I'd be reacting to it on the show. Alrighty, let's talk about Pedro. Let's talk about Pedro. I cannot believe. Look, I need you all's help. Is this disingenuous bullshit? Yo, blue collar loser for $1.99. How you doing? Just got to the gym, staring at you. That's masculine. You good goddamn right, that's masculine.
Stop it. Get some help.
Anyway, thank you, BCL. I cannot for the life of me, because it's so hard to tell Kotaku. Kotaku is so insufferable and irrational that I don't know when they are being intentionally obtuse or when they're just this stupid. The internet is getting real weird about Pedro Pascal all of a sudden. What do you mean all of a sudden? Your premise is flawed from the beginning. There has been some major, if we're being generous, Pedro fatigue. If we're being honest, outright Pedro hate for a while now. I've been on YouTube 2.5 years, and it's been there since I started doing YouTube. So let's read through here and see what these morons have to say. Fantastic Four and Last of Us Star is getting hate online, and not the usual kind. I mean, again, it is the usual kind. Yes, agreed, Cornboy. You don't hate the media enough. Pedro Pascal is having a big year. He is starring in his first Marvel movie as Mr. Fantastic and Fantastic Four First Steps, which I unfortunately have to see tomorrow. Thanks, guys. He died a gruesome death in The Last of Us second season, and right now, it is. By the way, he died a gruesome death exactly the same way the games did it, which we all hated, that, of course, Kotaku sucked off, and he died in such a fashion that the vast majority of the normies who did not know what was coming, who was not familiar with the video games, started tuning out, because the show's not going to work without Joel. Why? Killing masculinity. Now, I know that saying that Pedro Pascal played a masculine character is a bit of a stretch, but I mean, it was objectively more masculine than whatever they started doing once he died. So, yeah, the point is people hate it, but that's neither here nor there. He died a gruesome death in The Last of Us second season, and right now it is entirely possible you can go to a movie theater and see him in 3 different films in one day. Guys, this is a true statement. You could see Pedro Pascal in 3 different films in the theater right now. What the fuck is going on? That is depressing. Even if we didn't hate Pedro because of his lack of masculinity, because he is a bitch-made beta cuck using his anxiety as a reason to touch women in a creepy fashion, even if none of that was true, there would still just be a general fucking fatigue of the guy. He's worse than a male Rachel Zegler, Netflix foreign. And yes, Rick, you're right. He do gotta be making bank. Public visibility brings more scrutiny, and you can't find an actor in Hollywood more visible than Pascal these days. God damn, what a sad state of affairs. That means not only is the actor getting a lot of work and exposure, but also the internet's gotten really weird about him in a very short amount of time. No. People were already getting weird about him for good reason, because he's a weird dude. But for those of us that live online, we've been seeing this since The Mandalorian. Like, y'all remember, this has been a while ago, maybe you don't remember, or maybe flat didn't know, that Pedro Pascal stated he doesn't like doing the Mandalorian voice for children because that's his bedroom voice, because it's husky. What? The fuck does that? That's weird, bro. Never once when watching The Mandalorian did I think of that as a bedroom voice. Star Wars is at the end of the... Yes, guys, okay, I see a lot of y'all adding surprise in chat. So apparently you didn't know that. That is a real fucking thing that he said. I agree it's all kinds of... Because Star Wars, as much as we all love it, as much as we're all attached to it, as much as we grew up with it, it is a children's franchise by and large for the most part. I don't know any child. Why would that even be said about your character that is in what is effectively a children's show, children's IP? So, yeah. This is the level. So, the reason I bring this up, so many of us have been bitching and moaning about Pedro Pascal because he has always been like this. He has always said weird shit like this. And the more and more he's exposed, the more and more people are seeing what so many of us have already seen and been talking about. So no, this isn't all of a sudden. This didn't happen overnight. This has been a growing thing because Pedro Pascal's creep factor has been growing for people the more and more they see him. We can just all go to bed and wake up one morning and think that, you know what, we hate Pedro Pascal now. No. This shit doesn't happen in a vacuum. Overexposure is usually enough to make the general public turn against anyone. It's happened at one time or another to Chappell Roan, Taylor Swift, Chris Pratt, and Jack Black, to name a few. Bro, throwing Chris Pratt in with the rest of these three is obnoxious. Like, look, I'll be the first to admit, while Chappell Roan is a fucking lefty freak, I love her music, dude. Her music fucking slaps, bro. I dig Chappell Roan's music. She is a person, literally the worst kind of fucking person. But whatever. Taylor Swift, Jack Black. There's a reason people grew to loathe them. And it wasn't overexposure. It was artificial astroturfed exposure. It was fake exposure. It was the media giving exposure to these people because they have the correct manufactured opinions. Chris Pratt, on the other hand, people hate. People, online lefty freaks and retards, hate because of his authenticity. Oh wow, camera's on? Well, I get that's a Dark Side Phil reference, but what's that mean? I mean, I keep the cameras on for my videos all the times. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't get the reference you're making there, or at least the reference that I think you're making doesn't seem to work in this instance, Jamma. But I appreciate if you clued me in. Maybe I'm just retarded. Leon is rarely on camera. Okay. Alright, fair enough. Alright, y'all are just talking shit. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, Pascal has been a successful actor for a while, but he's definitely became a staple of franchise entertainment in recent years. He was in Game of Thrones, is in Star Wars, getting his own movie next year, and on his role in The Last of Us and now the MCU. And Pascal is okay, yeah. So he's everywhere toxic fandoms exist. Also, right now you can go to the movie theater and see him in 3 different films: Fantastic Four, First Steps, Eddington, and Materialists. Look, Blue Collar Loser saw Eddington and he loved it. Stupinzo saw Eddington and he loved it. And I'm not saying that Pedro in a film inherently ruins it. I am saying it will definitely have a much larger chance of me not enjoying your film. But not just because the dude's a creep, not just because of his politics. I've never really thought the guy was a good actor. He ranges anywhere from fine to outright bad. Netflix Foreign, have you seen Fantastic Four? Because I believe that as well, but I haven't seen it. I've seen it tomorrow, so we'll see. Pedro's been pushed harder than Roman Reigns for his massive push. I mean, I ain't gonna use that comparison because I'm a Roman Reigns fan, but oh right, he was just in Gladiator 2 and The Wild Robot 2. Oh, woo. Really? You guys are supposed to be writers? He was just in Gladiator 2 and The Wild Robot 2. You could have said also or as well. That's just sloppy. The man's getting his bag, but you can be a good actor starring quality stuff and still get backlash people never hearing the end of you. It's an I can't miss you if you won't leave sort of deal. Now, if we were to leave out all the weirdo shit that Pedro Pascal has going on about him, this is honestly still true. Like, you can get backlash for people never hearing the interview. I mean, he's right. We can't miss you if you won't leave. That's fair. Unlike some celebrities who get this brand of weird fatigue-based backlash, Pascal has the distinction of being pretty likable. Literally everyone you mentioned up here at one time or another was likable, at least the public-facing persona. Everyone loved Jet Black at one point. Everyone loved Chris Pratt until he came out as Christian, and all of a sudden Hollywood hated him. Chappell Roan, before she started, being famous, and she was like getting, on the come up, people only knew about her for her music. Assumed she'd be likable because it was fun and bouncy and poppy. Taylor Swift, again, I don't have much opinions on. I really don't know. Taylor Swift is a different case, man. She is such a mega star that I don't really know that it's even in the same ballpark as the other three. Anyway, point is, it's not a distinction of being pretty likable. All those people were more or less. He has gone viral plenty of times for being personable and funny in interviews. Has he, though? Like, I see him in interviews and he just comes off as like a wet blanket. So if he's not on your TV screen, he's probably on your glowing slab giving us sound bites. Jesus Christ. Just say on your phone. You're not a clever writer, Kenneth. But those interviews and public appearances are now precisely the place where the actor is getting the most backlash. Pascal is currently promoting Fantastic Four alongside his co-star Vanessa Kirby, who plays his character's wife. The promotional stuff for this, which is what Little Miss Anonymous was saying earlier, is weird. And yeah, LMA, he was absolutely overused. Where's Zendaya on that list? The two have been notably touchy-feely on the road, and this has led many to presumptuous accusations about the two's relationship and Pascal's treatment of his female co-stars. This all goes back to a viral clip from San Diego Comic-Con in 2024, in which the two held hands on stage while promoting the film. Now, they talk about Vanessa Kirby defending it and whatnot. Guys, I don't give a fuck, it's weird. It is fucking weird. She is married, she is pregnant, and neither of which with Pedro Pascal. And they're seen holding hands, and he's touching all over her, and she's like brushing on the back of his neck and shit. It's fucking weird. That is not how that is not how a display should be done with someone else's pregnant wife, nor is that how someone's pregnant wife should handle someone else. Like, it's consensual. I don't give a fuck if it's consensual. It's still weird, and we're still normalizing this weird public display of broken boundaries between, married individuals, pregnant women by other men. Like, no, there's no other way to put it. It's fucking weird. That's not the only footage of Pascal and Kirby getting close. Now, a subset of the internet is turning on him, accusing him of inappropriate behavior in these interactions, despite it being very obvious that Kirby is initiating plenty of contact. Now, maybe she is. Sure. And I will, of course, acknowledge it's consensual on Vanessa Kirby's part. That doesn't mean it always is with every woman. And that also doesn't mean that this should be fucking normalized. It really shouldn't. $10 says they have a relationship. I wouldn't. I've had that same, let's say, curiosity. Little Miss Anonymous. Yeah, it's... that maybe there's some behind-the-scenes Hollywood tomfoolery and such. The existence of the footage of him also being touchy with male co-stars and explanations about the actor's struggles with anxiety as contributing to his factor for asking for person-to-person contact. This is the real reason so many of us are weirded out by Pedro Pascal. Because he's a bitch. Because he's a fucking bitch, bro. Like, what do you... Your anxiety is so bad that you need to, like, put it on full display and be an emasculated feminist little fucking homo and, like, I need person-to-person contact. Like, let's change the situation. Imagine he needed to carry around a security blanket. Like, dude needed his blankie to go out on stage and talk about Fantastic Four. I'm Mr. Fantastic, and I can't talk about this movie without my blankie. You see the race cars on it? You see how soft it is? I've had it since I was 4. Like, everyone would agree that would be fucking weird. Now, yes, you would have a subset of the internet. They would, of course, defend it because he's Daddy Pedro. Oh, we love his vulnerability. Look how nice it is. He lets his inner child out. Well, I don't want to hear anything about Pedro Pascal and children. That's also weird. But the fact of the matter is, let's do a version where he's not touching Vanessa Kirby, who is an attractive woman, and let's swap it with a security blanket. The whole my anxiety becomes so much more eye-rolling and fucking bitch-made when you swap it out for something like that. Blue Collar says, it's hard with him. He's overexposed, but he can act. I really liked him in the Nick Cage movie. He can be talented when he shuts the fuck up. I disagree. Dude, I didn't like him in Narcos. I never watched Game of Thrones, so I can't say shit. Yo, what up, Nadia? How you doing? I'm sure those are bots, Leon. Dude, at this point, I don't know what is and what isn't a fucking bot. Dead internet theory is a thing. Dead internet theory is real. Like, for real. Now, what I can say is a large contingent of them probably are bots because, once again, Pedro Pascal, his rise has come up, his exposure is one of the most astroturfed things in Hollywood fucking history. Now, me and Hypno was talking about this, right? Like, Rachel Zegler is an example of this. Pedro Pascal is an example of this. There's always someone that the industry, if not multiple someones, the industry is pushing and pushing. They will be the next big thing by fucking force. And people are just like, nah, we're good. Like, it's weird, man. It's weird. I like Vex's theory. About Pedro's dad. If you don't know about Pedro's dad, look it up. I'd regale it here, but I don't remember all the details, and I don't want to say it wrong. One important piece of context that Pascal has become especially vocal in his support of trans people in a time when the grifters of the culture war will wield anything they can to try and take down people they perceive as enemies. We doing this? We really doing this? Alright. Every fucking actor supports trans people, and they're fucking vocal about it. It's one of the main goddamn Hollywood talking points. Every underage actor is trans or non-binary or some form of homo. Every Hollywood actor out there transing their own goddamn kids. It is not... The reason that everyone hates Pedro Pascal is not exclusively because of his pro-trans statements, because every single one of these dumb motherfuckers, these pre-programmed NPCs are about this. Shut the fuck up. Dude, Kotaku couldn't even take an article about how overexposed and fatigue that Pedro Pascal is without turning it into some we hate the chuds culture war pro-trans propaganda. To their credit, they waited about 6 paragraphs to do so. I don't know if I've ever seen a Kotaku writer wait that long to do so. Dude, I can imagine when he was writing this article or typing it up on his little MacBook Pro, he was just like rocking back and forth, and like, just grinding his teeth, just like, when do I get to the tranny part? Like, just, he couldn't hold in his fucking trans explosion and shit. Dude, it's not that fucking serious. We hate most of Hollywood for glorifying cutting the cock off 12-year-old Jimmy. Alright? That's not exclusive to Pedro. It just so also happens that Pedro is a fugly, weird-looking dude who is in every goddamn thing under the sun. Does that clear it the fuck up for you? Anyway, that's the end of that one. Let's see. I wanted to watch. Here we go. Hold on. Want to watch a couple of these videos. This one from a couple days ago from Asmongold, and then the one before that about 3 days ago now. Damn, I'm behind. By the way, I've been following the story. I don't know if you guys have, so we're gonna do it together. Tulsi Gabbard reacts to Obama's comments responding to a Russiagate report. Now, I've been following the Russiagate stuff, the Obama stuff. It's been really fucking funny. But I've been holding off on watching these particular videos because I want to do it with you guys. So, we're going to spend the last, hours of this show getting real political like. Let's do it. Fuck Pedro Pascal. Let's go.
A question for Director Gabbard. A spokesperson for former President Obama said in a statement earlier this week, quote, "Nothing in the documents issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 election, but did not successfully manipulate any."
Does anybody... Yeah, Russia. Is there anyone in my audience that anyone at all that believes this Russia bullshit? Like that still believes that Russia, influenced or had involvement in the fucking 2016 election. I don't know any normal person that still believes and or gives a fuck.
Votes. How do you respond to critics like former President Obama and all?
Alright, Netflix Foreign, I appreciate you for watching. But fucking obviously, you need to pay better attention, man. Netflix Foreign, you come in with these comments of obvious shit. Yes, no shit, Tulsi just outed it. I literally spent the last 5 minutes saying, I've been following this. Have you guys? If you haven't, let's talk about it. So yes, fucking duh. Jesus Christ. Comprehension, people.
Also others on the Hill who say that the administration is conflating apples and oranges here, conflating allegations of actual hacking of voter machines and allegations of interference generally.
I think it's a disservice to the American people that former President Obama's office and others who are criticizing the transparency that is being delivered by releasing these documents. They are doing a disservice to the American people and trying to...
All right, Tulsi. Let's slow your roll. You don't get to talk about transparency as shit when we still haven't seen a goddamn thing about Epstein. In fact, when your story has changed, and not your story in particular, Tulsi, but of course the administration story, 3 times over the course of a fucking week and a half about the Epstein list and the files and the documents and whether it existed or who it didn't exist or perpetrated it or anything like that. So while I appreciate what she's saying here, shut the fuck up about my transparency. But yes, Warbin 55 absolutely would. Tulsi Gabbard hot as shit. Absolutely would.
Deflect away from their culpability in what is a historic scandal and negative action towards the American people and our democratic republic. The answer to that statement can very clearly be found throughout all of the documents that we have released. Again, showing that Russia has took action to try to sow discord in the election, but showed no preference for or against any singular candidate.
In fact, Russia likely did have a preference. And that preference was actually Hillary Clinton. Because her fucking warmongering policies would have benefited Russia. She's an establishment whore. Like, obviously.
You've long been an opponent of weaponization in government. How do you respond to criticism that referring Obama administration officials and even potentially the former president is just more weaponization, and this is a potential race to the bottom?
I think that's a very disrespectful attack on the American people who deserve the truth. They deserve to have faith and trust.
We deserve the truth, guys. We deserve the truth. The truth matters. But not about global pedophile rings that may or may not run the fucking world. Again, I'm happy all this has come to light. It has been widely known for years now, at least to anyone that pays attention to this shit, that Barack Obama illegally wiretapped Donald Trump's phones prior to the election to get dirt on him to try and use to make sure Hillary won. Like that story has been confirmed since like 2021 or something. So again, while I appreciate this information, don't talk about shit about the American people deserve to know the truth when you ain't even giving us the most important fucking truth that many people, it was the actual clear-cut reason we fucking voted for Trump. Two things can be true.
In the integrity of our democratic republic, which is
Truth 1.0 or a day one patch. Nice.
which has been undermined by President Obama through his direction of this manufactured fake intelligence document, knowing that it was filled with lies and knowing that it would and could then be used for all of the actions that came after.
Carolyn, and I would just add, there needs to be accountability for that weaponization, Phil, that we've seen, and no one has been.
All right, I gotta be real, guys. I gotta be real. There's one banger thing about the Trump administration. One banger thing. Bro, aren't we? This is a bad pause, so what I'm gonna say might sound crazy, but it's fine. Aren't we fucking happy there's fuckable people in Trump's administration? Like, bro, name one fuckable person from the previous admin. Like, dude, you had, like, homeboy that was fucking, like, trans or whatever and stealing dresses from airports. You had, like, military generals putting on fucking makeup and wearing wigs and shit. You had, like, fat black people who would address the nation in Biden's absence, which was all the fucking time. But then you get, like, Tulsi Gabbard and what's her name here? I'm blanking on her name. Karen Levitt. They're both just absolute bangable. Like, I'm all in. Don't get me wrong. I want to hear about the Epstein files, and I'm going to continue bitching about it. But thank God for there being fuckable bitches in front of the camera again. God bless America.
A victim of the weaponized government more than President Trump, not just because of this political scandal. You all recall his house was raided. So I think, it's very disingenuous for people to say, how dare...
Only facts. That goes hard, St. Hugo. You need to remember you said that, and I need to remember you said that so I can steal it. That goes hard.
They speak of former President Obama about this based on evidence and based on intelligence, when the former president of the United States, Donald Trump's home was raided, when he was forced to sit in a Manhattan courtroom and many other courtrooms across the country for crimes he never committed, when he was impeached and indicted, and the entire country witnessed that. That's the weaponization of justice. Now the president is back because the American people see the truth. Nearly 80 million Americans reelected him back to this office, and he believes that we need to have justice and accountability. And I think the nearly 80 million Americans who reelected him agree with that. Caitlin.
Based. Absolutely based. Alrighty. Now let's watch the Asmongold video. I don't know how long this reaction will take, so this might be the last one we do on the stream today. We'll see.
The stunning revelations that we are releasing today should be of concern. The stunning revelations
God damn it,
that we are
YouTube.
releasing today should be of concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic and American voters.
Because y'all gotta remember, this ain't about Democrats and Republicans. Tulsi Gabbard had been a lifelong Democrat. I was a fan of this bitch back when she was a Democrat. Absolutely. Why? Because your boy doesn't vote along, party lines. I don't just go R down the ticket or nothing like that. I've been a Tulsi Gabbard fan for years. I donated to Andrew Yang's campaign, not because he would win. I fucking knew he wouldn't win. Just because it was refreshing seeing someone like him, on the campaign trail. Now, he ended up just becoming another cuck for the DNC. Shame to see. But, at the time, it was nice to be like, you know what? I don't like Andrew Yang's policies. I don't like his progressivism. But I appreciated the way he spoke and the fact that he had multiple pages of actually well thought out policy. Bad policy, but still thought out policy. So, yeah, I agree with Tulsi. Entirely correct here.
Having faith that the votes cast will count. There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail how they carried this out. They manufactured findings from shoddy sources. They suppressed evidence and credible intelligence that disproved their false claims. They disobeyed traditional...
But remember, guys, the biggest scandal in Obama's presidency was he wore a tan suit. Hey, catch you later, Naganal.
Tradecraft intelligence community standards.
By the way, until there are arrests, I sleep.
Well, then I got bad news for you, Asmongold, old buddy, old pal. No arrests are coming. No arrests are fucking coming. They're not gonna, or if there are arrests, they're gonna be low-level no-names that no one's ever fucking heard of. They're the scapegoats. They're gonna pin the whole thing on them. Look, we're saving democracy by arresting people who don't fucking matter. Like, dude, I agree with the concept of what Asmongold's saying. Until there are arrests, I sleep. We all know good goddamn well we ain't gonna see a Barack Obama fucking perp walk. Or a quip walk, but that's totally different.
I need to see arrests. That's what I want. Until we get that.
And withheld the truth from the American people. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump in that election in November of 2016.
I remember that.
They worked with their partners in the media to promote this lie, ultimately to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump and launching what would be a year's...
And to also create a new narrative of xenophobia against Russians. To reignite Cold War tensions, to create another oppositional relationship with a nation that, I don't know. Would Crimea and Ukraine have happened if America hadn't done this? Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with Asmongold on this take. What up, AJ? I don't know if this narrative was done to create a new layer of xenophobia against Russians. Because, we've always been on the outs with Russia. That's more just a byproduct. Like, let's be real. Their target was Trump. Their target was always Trump. I don't even think they did create xenophobia against Russians. Everybody already didn't like Vladimir Putin. Nobody's ever liked him. He's always been considered the fucking bad guy. So I don't think there ever has been a xenophobia against Russians. Most people, I think, are like, yeah, we got no issues with the Russian people. We got issues with the Russian government. Just like how I feel about Americans. I love my fellow Americans. Boy, do I fucking hate our goddamn government. Again, if there was xenophobia against Russians created, that was, just a byproduct of the stuff that was being intentionally done to Trump.
But I'm sure I don't think it helped. I don't think that it helps the government, and I don't think it helps our international relations when we're making up bullshit.
Jama, he says, I like Asmongold, but he doesn't have good takes on beyond domestic shit. I think his takes are hit and miss. I like him, but I think his takes are hit and miss. When I reacted to his video last night, there were several things I agree with, several things I disagree with. Asmongold is a great representation of the everyman, because even when he does have bad takes, his bad takes are seemingly authentic and not done like along party lines or seem manufactured for clickbait or news. Like, again, I can respect your bad take if you can explain it. I think he adequately explains it, and I think it does represent the everyman kind of on either side of the political aisle. Yeah, like Joe Rogan. Exactly like Joe Rogan.
About what other governments are doing. Fuck Russia? What? For how long? For how long are we going to just keep doing that? It's crazy.
He says, how long are we going to keep doing that, as if we ever, like, at one point didn't do that. Like, this is kind of been a thing, at least since J. Edgar Hoover, right? At least since J. Edgar Hoover, if not even earlier.
Long coup against him.
I appreciate you
and his
calling me a man,
administration.
blue collar.
Forever?
We're here today because the American people deserve the truth, they deserve accountability, and they deserve justice. The records that we released on Friday that were ODNI records, Senator Chuck Grassley's.
I'm surprised that I'm
Exactly,
getting any
Jamma.
pushback on this. Isn't it obviously bad that you have the administration of a government that just makes up a lie about a foreign government? Wouldn't
War Ben brings up a good point. Well, I don't think it's a good point. No offense, bud. But I do think it's an interesting point. And it's something that does kind of annoy me. I can't take Asmongold seriously. Dude grosses me out. Like, that's a mentality I hear all the time. Blue Collar says the same shit. Ryan Roger Athay said the same shit. And, I can't, whether this is the left, the right, male, female, like, the idea of not being able to take someone seriously, not take their arguments or opinions seriously because of what they look like or how they dress or how their hygiene is or whatnot, like, none of that really matters to me. I care about a person's argument. I care about what they're saying, why they're saying it. And that's, at least for me, that's what dictates whether or not I can take someone or something seriously. Like, yeah, everybody knows that Asmongold's house is a fucking mess, that he showers once a month. Like yeah, all that's all well and good. You can find that weird or gross or, disgusting. But to not take the opinions seriously one way or another when they are decently articulated, like, does... To me, that's weird. Like, I can't take that seriously. I can't take folks seriously who have who base their opinions on these superficial aspects as opposed to what's actually being said. I mean, we don't take men seriously who dress up as women now, do we? Well, no, but it's not because they dress up as women. It's often because of what nonsense they espouse to justify dressing up as women. That's the thing. Like, the dudes who cosplay as women, 9 times out of 10, the shit they're saying is far worse than the way they look, and that's why they're not to be taken seriously. So, like, sure, the way they're dressing is a warning sign. It's pattern recognition. That's not the actual issue. The issue is what the underlying stuff that comes after we see that pattern. He's still a millionaire. I'm not. Who cares if the guy wants to live a hobo, dad punk stuff? But again, that's not... Y'all are thinking like with the wrong mentality. Like, how much money he has or whatnot really doesn't fucking matter. Again, the content of the argument or the points he makes, good or bad, is what matters. And you can argue his good points, you can argue his bad points, you can have opinions on his points. But, like, the amount of money someone has doesn't matter at all. Like, some of you guys, I guarantee you in chat, got way more money than me, which I always appreciate how fucking generous with you are and whatnot. But, like, the amount of money you guys have does not make me take your opinions more seriously one way or the other. I'm sure there's plenty of people in chat who I also have more money than. And I'm like, someone, and this isn't calling anyone in particular because I don't know. All y'all know your own situations, but like, some of you might be on, food stamps, government assistance. Your opinions on government assistance mean nothing to me based on your income. They mean something to me based on how well you can articulate your argument about them. So yeah, I don't think that the amount of money somebody has is indicative of whether or not we take their argument seriously. It's not the amount, it's how he got there, Leon. Like, his son is a net baby. Well, I mean, you're going to need to explain yourself, Gen T Maxi, because what do you mean he never had to work? Like, first of all, Asmongold's talked about jobs he's held. Yeah, he was one of the streamers that got, and this is you're gonna make it sound like turning into a fucking Asmongold Glaze session, which isn't the case, because again, I've only very recently learned about the guy, like within the last 2 years. Basically, once I started doing YouTube, I started learning about who Asmongold was, because frankly, when I started doing YouTube, I was playing a lot of World of Warcraft, and I was told that he's the best World of Warcraft content creator, and like to learn the game, I started watching him. So it wasn't even about his political stuff or anything like that. I just needed basically an outlet to learn how to do World of Warcraft properly. But like, I comparing Asmongold to Hassan is not the same whatsoever. Asmongold did grow up poor. He didn't have any money. Like, he was very early in the streaming game, and he was able to capitalize on that and you know, make money doing it. But to say he's a nepo baby, or that he, you know, has never had a job, or that he had money, like, none of that's true. So that's a bad analogy. Yeah, Hassan, okay, so you're saying that about Hassan. You worded that very poorly then, Gen T Maxi. Yeah, Hassan and Asmongold are the exact opposite. Yeah, so, to be fair, Gen T Maxi, fair enough. I misunderstood. You said it's not the amount, it's how he got there. Then you said, like Hassan, and so when you drew that comparison, and that's an, in my opinion, an unfair comparison. But you're right, I did misunderstand what you meant. My bad. I thought you were saying Asmongold was like Hassan and how he got there. Hey, catch you later, Dax. Appreciate you. Thanks for doing your job, homie. Truly appreciate it. I did because both have, they both have big platforms. But by that same token, Gen T Maxi, will you take me less seriously if I become, rich and successful and have a big platform on YouTube? Like, is the only reason you take me seriously because I have a small platform by comparison? Or Hypno, or Smash, or anything like that? Like, again, I don't think that the size of the platform matters. Again, Joe Rogan's another great example of this. I think Asmongold earned his more because he doesn't have a big buffalo for an uncle. Well, not even that. Hassan's fucking dad is richer than his uncle. Hassan's dad was a fucking multi-millionaire, if not billionaire. Like, Hassan is a nepo baby to the extreme because both his dad and his uncle were rich and in different fields. I think his dad was like a tech guy or something, or maybe he was in politics as well. I don't remember. But yeah, again, the size of your platform. I guess I'm trying to understand your argument, Gen T Maxi. Like, and if you can articulate why you hold these beliefs, that's fair, because we can have this. It's an interesting discussion. But I don't understand the argument of size of platform matters, because everything you're criticizing Hassan for is because the way Hassan did it is artificial, and then you're saying, yeah, Asmongold's isn't, he earned it. So I guess I'm not sure what the issue or problem you have is, or why you're not able to take XYZ seriously. The size only matters for the waves you make, the access you get, Leon. That comes with responsibility, and to hold those, you would interview accountable. I agree that, but what the fuck does that have to do with Asmongold? Asmongold doesn't interview politicians, doesn't make waves in the political sphere or anything. Dude talks about fucking video games and has recently started talking politics because, let's be real, everyone talks politics nowadays. Try and be angry. I mean, for larger streamers who do it, who do it. Well, yeah, but that's the case for anybody. Asmon would have to take on invites. Okay, I mean, I'm these little sound bites just aren't helping Gen T Maxi. I'm sorry, but like you're not giving me anything to work with. Asmongold would have to take on invites. What does that mean? Oh yeah, I would love to see Asmon on Piers Morgan. I would. I think that would be hilarious. It's a lot of discussion, Leon. I love you. I wouldn't be okay making $1 million a year sitting home all day. I would donate $900K to charity. I think it's because I've held real jobs all my life. I mean, I don't know. Work is work. Like, I wouldn't be okay making millions of dollars a year sitting at home all day. but then you talk about like donating to charity or whatnot. Now, I don't know what Asmongold does or doesn't do with his money. Maybe he does donate a lot to charity. I don't fucking know. I don't think that, like, I appreciate people that do have lots of money that keep their philanthropy quiet and don't use it for self-aggrandizing purposes. I don't think we could pretend to know what, you know, a lot of these well-known streamers or celebrities or whatnot do with their money if they don't talk about doing, you know, what they do with their money. I would keep some back to protect my livelihood. Yeah, blue collar, you only say that because you don't have it. And Warbin is correct. I mean, like, you say that because you don't have it. Because here's the dealio. Like, I do this for a living at this point. Like, I do this full time. The idea that it's just sitting on your ass doesn't really sit right with me, because prior to doing this, I worked office jobs. Now, I've done hard labor as well. I've worked in warehouses. I've worked fast food. I've worked retail. But for the last 7 years or more, I've held office jobs, done IT, done car loans, worked for internet companies, things like that. Sometimes made good money doing it. Other times made adequate money. Like, I don't think that, and besides, that's like saying that work is the only thing that matters, and there are other things. You know, when you're not, you know, getting millions on your stream or whatnot, you're, I'm sure, out there doing other things that matter, other things that interest you, other things that give you fulfillment. So yeah, I just don't think that's a very good argument. Me and Leon do this for fun. I'm okay with making money, but I'm also not cool Robert Downey Jr. getting paid $100 million for playing Dr. Doom. I just respect blue collar workers. Leon's held real jobs. I mean, yeah, but at the end of the day, what I respect is the market, and I respect individuals. Like, if Robert Downey Jr. can say, I'm not coming back to play Dr. Doom unless you pay me $100 million, and the people in Hollywood are too fucking stupid to say, yeah, we're not spending that money, I'm not mad at Robert Downey Jr. for that. Nah, dude, he getting his bag. That's fine. That's negotiation. That's capitalism, son. I'm A-okay with that. You could be annoyed that there is a model that allows that to exist, but by the same token, it's a value proposition. Entertainment is America's #1 cultural export, so it actually makes sense in the grand scheme of things economically to be paying actors and sports players and whatnot absurd amounts of money. Now, do I wish that entertainment was America's main cultural export? No, not really, but it is. That's the world we live in. I think that I don't respect blue-collar workers on the basis of them being blue-collar workers. I respect them if they're good people and they're doing honest work. Because you can have a blue-collar worker that comes home and beats the shit out of his wife or fucks his kids and stuff like that. Like, no, I don't think the idea of someone being blue-collar inherently is respectful. As everyday people who can't afford medication, stuff about Walmart versus Whole Foods, long discussion, I won't flood chat with. You're humble, that's whatever. No, and I appreciate that. I think this is a good discussion. That's why I'm enjoying having it, because, like, the way this whole argument started, or this debate started, was Warbin talking about how he couldn't take Asmongold seriously because he's gross. And, like, two things can be true. Asmongold can have terrible hygiene, but also he can make good, well-articulated arguments. And I think that people's opinions and biases and whatnot should be based on the arguments someone makes, as opposed to the way they dress or shit like that. Only one I really respect in Hollywood is Martha Stewart. I mean, more or less everything in one day. She could take care of herself with no handlers, no problem. I think there's actually a few folk like that in Hollywood. They're very few and far between. But yeah, I understand what you mean.
Wouldn't that obviously strain relations with that government? I feel like this is the most obvious common sense thing that I can say. Yeah, of course. And I don't think that's good at all. I think it's ultimately bad. Why would anybody be defending this at all? It doesn't mean that I like Russia, but needlessly antagonizing them with a lie is unnecessary, and it causes problems. It's an unforced error.
Well, I could actually argue that it is a forced error. They wanted to force this. That would make it a forced error. I don't judge one mental illness for overall of a person. Autistic myself, not right. Crazy Lep don't like him because he's good at speaking. Asmongold has a gentle, sincere tone when he talks. It's just his opinion. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, Asmongold is very 50-50 on his opinions. Like for me personally, for like sometimes he is, in my opinion, correct. Other times he is definitely wrong. However, I like you say, he's good at speaking. Even when he's wrong, I appreciate the way he says it, how he came to those conclusions, things to that effect. That's fine. Most of the time, I agree with that. Asmongold is saying. I only hear him in short clips like this. Yeah. Oh, and to be fair, same here. I don't watch Asmongold streams. I've never once watched an Asmongold stream except for one time when I got a DM being like, "Yo, Asmongold's talking about Smash JT right now live," and I popped into the live stream, frankly, to get clips from it. So yeah, I watch people in my sphere. You know, I watch Hypno or Kada or Zax, Nadia, Gooch, and if I'm wanting culture wars stuff, and like when it comes to streams, I only watch the folks I know at this point. And then, because I do culture war stuff effectively for a living at this point, when I'm not doing that, there's times I don't fucking want to watch it, dude. I'm watching 3-hour Ocarina of Time analysis videos, or I'm watching like music theory videos and how the leitmotifs work in Sonic the Hedgehog, like, because you can't just always be on for culture war shit, man. It's draining. Yo, speaking of Hypno, what up? If streaming was just sitting on your ass and letting money roll in, then everyone would be doing it. People have vast misrepresentation of what it takes to succeed in streaming. Every job has the pros and cons. Bingo, bingo, bongo. I couldn't agree with that more at all. Like there has to be talent, dedication, hard work. Exactly. I completely agree. I was doing in the background. I play games like Ark because it's a super grindly game. So yeah, and even when I'm gaming, because that's a lot of time while I'm listening to live streams is when I'm gaming. And even what I'm listening to then depends on my mood. Like, I could go from playing Schedule 1 while listening to Hypno to listening to a fucking, like, a review of insert new video game here and then from there go to, like, top 10 darkest Reddit conspiracy theories. Like, dude, my algorithms are all fucking over the place. Well, to be fair, streaming is literally just staying home in a chair. I'm not going to present upcoming August 1st, standing up for 12 hours, shingling a roof is easier. Well, I mean, streaming isn't literally staying home and sitting in a chair. All streaming is a mechanism for communicating a show. And you can do that in many different fashions. There are IRL streams. There are sports streams. So what you are talking about streaming might be by and large true, but nobody also has ever said that it's harder than shingling a roof. Like, physically, no, not at all. Physically, it is not harder in the slightest. But as someone who has done a vast amount of warehouse work, I can tell you that shit's not mentally strenuous at all. Big guy, move bucks. Like, it's fucking easy. There's no mental strain whatsoever to doing warehouse work. The mental strain of streaming and going over these articles and talking and having these opinions and formulating them and figuring out the ins and the outs, that is far more mentally stimulating. So again, that just goes back to pros and cons. Now you can argue which is more important, the physical, the mental. I don't think one is more important than the other. I think both are necessary to human, to human progress and to just maintaining a healthy body, healthy mind. Yeah, office jobs really sitting on your ass all day. Office job not hard. Some of them are. Some office jobs really suck in different ways. Agreed. Comparing physical labor to non-physical labor as apples to oranges, people equate hard to physical labor. Physical labor is not the only hard thing about any job. Yeah, I mean, I'm with Hypno on this one. Absolutely. Again, I've held all manner of jobs. All manner of jobs. Again, my very first job was Waffle House. After that, I worked at Kmart. I've been a dude in a fucking meatball costume on the side of the road to advertise a fucking pasta business that I worked at. I've worked in warehouses. I've worked for internet companies like CenturyLink. I've owned my own business. The thing that I'm most proud of. And by the way, owning my own business back in the day, being in the music industry, the booking, the promotion, all that. None of that was physically strenuous. It was a lot of sending emails to band managers and talking to venues and finalizing percentages for, like, here, I get a 10% cut of XYZ. Hey, here's a $30,000 tour buy-in. Like, none of that was hard work in terms of the physicality of it. It's not hard to get in my car and drive to a venue 5 hours before a show and make sure that everything is set up properly and things like that. But it is hard to negotiate terms. It is hard to come up with figures that are mutually beneficial. It is hard to convince people that you have the clout to have access to these bands that you are worth talking to be the one to book their show. So yeah, I don't. And by the way, I made fucking good money doing that too. Like, one concert, 10% of a $30,000 concert. That means for one night's work, getting paid $3,000. Now, it's not really one night's work because there's the time going into getting in contact with the band, then the venue, and then working out all of the financial information. But what comes off as one night's work, because that's all people see, yeah, it looks good. People just see a product, think it's easy. They have no idea what it takes to make the product run so smoothly. By the way, make it run smooth solo. Most don't have a team behind them. That's another thing. Like, yeah, Tim Pool got a whole ass team behind him, and even then, look at how much that fucker struggles. Like the Timcast shit struggles to a ridiculous degree. Some jobs require a lot less of you. Also, people on TikTok making 1 minute videos talk about how hard life is. Yeah, but Blue, you like people say dumb shit all the time. I mean, people say dumb shit. I don't think that someone saying something stupid is inherently meaning disregard everything they say. Like, I've said dumb shit. You said dumb shit. Doesn't matter if we love or hate Trump. Trump said dumb shit. Like, again, you need to look at the cumulative quality of what's being said, what's being done. Also, life can be, like, having money does not inherently make life easy. It makes certain aspects of life easier, but that doesn't inherently make life easy, just in general. What up, Clicky Gamer? My mom was a corporate secretary, 30 some odd years. Her hands are fucked. She still runs circles on me with her cell phone, though. Based. And when you say jobs require a lot less of you, that depends on what you mean as less. Like, again, physically, maybe it requires less, but mentally more. I will absolutely say that streaming requires more mentally than working in a warehouse does. Working in a warehouse absolutely requires more physically than streaming does. They're just different. When one's not better than the other. Absolutely one's not better than the other. I will never say one's easy, or one's a poor person job, or one's difficult. Like, no, they're different. When you say jobs require less of something, they require something different. And different can mean less of one or less of another. Like, construction jobs. Some jobs you on a construction site will require less than other jobs on a construction site. But that comparison's not coming up. You're looking at this, the very simplistic binary mentality of what is and isn't, work or a job. TikTok doesn't monetize with shit. You have to get more sponsorships. Man, I wouldn't know. I don't use TikTok, so I don't know. Dot Hacker, how you doing? Appreciate you for showing up. The issue, a lot of people argue what's hard work. Well, yeah, what's difficult for others might be super easy for another. Like, look, I love my sister to death. My sister can't fucking public speak, dude. I don't know shit about working on bodies. My brother-in-law, he is a funeral director, owns a funeral director company, whatever the fuck those are called. To me, being able to slice open a dead body and take out the organs and shit, that would be fucking hard. Because that shit grosses me out. I don't do medical stuff. That is hard as fuck. However, my sister, who works with him because they own the business together, she can't public speak. She can't public speak for shit. So what I do would be insanely difficult for her. Because some people just don't have the gift of gab, or some people don't ever put in the effort to learn how to publicly speak and become proficient at it. So, like, what qualifies as hard or easy is incredibly mortuary, thank you, is incredibly subjective and changes person to person. There are some things that I find difficult as shit that I'm sure you guys in the chat, like, pick up on instantly. And, I mean, that is what it is. Like, again, I cannot imagine in my life having to work in my brother-in-law's mortuary. I couldn't even fucking dissect the frog in 8th grade science class because that shit fucked me up. I'm a baby back bitch about that stuff. But goddamn, can I ramble and talk? Like, customer service jobs are actually not bad jobs. It's the customers finding partially eaten bars of deodorant. What? COVID made a lot of people comfortable working from home. Buddy of mine works for New York State taxation. He literally stays home and watches Netflix. He doesn't claim it's hard work. Yeah, but again, that's such a rare factor in the grand scheme of humanity. Like, there were actors in the 50s and people working from for the New York taxation stuff in the 50s, and they were different jobs. Like, you're looking at this with such a limited recency bias worldview that I don't think your argument holds up. Yeah, dude, Warbin, I couldn't spend time with dead bodies like that either, dude. I could never spend time with dead bodies like that. Some jobs are physical, some are mental. The physical ones break down the body, the others break down the mind. The ones that break down the mind will eventually break down the body. That's also true as well. And that's another hard thing that you can do with practice and whatnot is you can build a strong mental fortitude, and that will help with that. As a veteran, I will say it was physically hard. My knees hurt sometimes, but as a software engineer, that is mentally exhausting. So I've done, and that's my point, Kalika. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, were there days where I would do 12-hour shifts at the fucking Waffle House and come home smelling like grease and have that smell on my nose throughout the entirety rest of the night and be physically tired from doing the same arm movement over and over, flipping those fucking eggs and whatnot, like feeling like I'm getting tendonitis in my goddamn elbow? Like, yeah, dude, and that shit sucked. But there were also days where I would go into the office when I worked IT and be like, Jesus Christ, how'd you turn off your goddamn server? This is a $15,000 fucking server, and you just unplugged it because you were trying to get the fucking air conditioning to work again? You fucking retard. Like, and it was mentally exhausting because there's just dumb fucking people in the world. Yeah, that's what it boiled down to, dude. Different types of folk. Yo, Jessica, how you doing, girlie? Appreciate you for showing up. Not the worst thing I've found. I found a used yeast kit. I ain't even reading the rest of that. How many fights did you break a wall? 3. I remember every single one of them, Fat Roller. 3. Junior, give me fast word at 7-Eleven. I assume you're referring to Leon here. Wait, Kalika. Hold on, what did Kalika say? I don't know what Kalika said. Either way, we'll go a little bit longer, and then we will start wrapping this up. One moment.
Especially when it's being done just to score political points. It's ridiculous. Why do you believe this lie? Because there hasn't been enough proof shown that Russia hacked the election, or they took it over, or they were able to take advantage and co-opt our election system. I don't think it happened.
Release on Monday of what is known as the Clinton Annex, which was an appendix to the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General's 2018 report, as well as the House Intelligence Committee's majority oversight report.
By the way, I don't think the 2020 election was rigged either. I think it's just people.
So as far as the 2020 election being rigged, both it was and it wasn't. The 2020 election was not rigged in terms of like, oh, the voting machines were switching people's votes and shit like that. Like, no. No, the 2020 election was rigged in the idea that the Democrats changed the rules and then they played by the new rules better. You can say it's rigged to change the rules in the middle of how the game is played. And, like, sure, fair enough. But Republicans could have done that. They just didn't. And they didn't do it good enough. So, like, I don't know if I would call it rigged so much so as both sides played dirty and one side played dirty better.
Complaining that it's rigged because they lost.
Agreed, Alyssa Clown Conte.
I was lagging. No, he was aimbotting. They're cheating. No, you lost. You lost, and you're looking for somebody to blame. That's it. You can't accept that you lost. And so you have to figure out there's some sort of external thing that justifies why you fucked up. That's what I would say.
And to be fair, he's not entirely wrong, but there are internal factors as well. I mean, for example, it has been confirmed by Mark Zuckerberg that the FBI came in and said, shut down insert news stories here that are favorable to Republicans, i.e. the Hunter Biden laptop story. Absolutely. That verifiably happened. Now, would you call that rigged? I don't know, because I imagine you could have had Republicans doing similar shit. Or you've got a huge contingent of Republicans in office and in the bureaucratic sectors and whatnot that don't like Trump. At the end of the day, it's a uniparty issue anyway. The whole left-right dynamic is a fucking illusion. This is a uniparty thing. So if anyone's rigging it, it's not the left, it's not the right, it's the uniparty who want to maintain power over us plebeians.
Are you talking about the entirety of world history and governments lying about each other? History is written by the winners? Yeah, but usually winners don't needlessly start conflicts for no reason. They don't.
Report that we're releasing today all come back to and confirm the same report. There was a gross politicization and manipulation of intelligence by the Obama administration intended to delegitimize President Trump even before he was inaugurated, ultimately usurping the will of the American people. I'm going to go over the key findings from the House Intelligence Report, which investigated the claims that were made by an intelligence community assessment ordered by President Obama and published in January of 2017. First, Putin's principal interests relating to the 2016 election were to undermine faith in the U.S. democratic process.
I agree with Bill Jones' assessment 100%. I wouldn't call it rigging. What I would call it is partisan control over media that is supposed to be neutral. Now, you could probably make an argument for that being rigging, but in all reality, it wouldn't be anything new. This isn't just it happened in 2020. It's never happened before. That's been the name of the game ever since the intelligence agencies and media apparatus started coinciding, again, at least under J. Edgar Hoover.
Not show any preference of a certain candidate. In fact, this report shows Putin held back from leaking compromising material on Hillary Clinton prior to the election, instead planning to release it after the election to weaken what Moscow viewed as an inevitable Clinton presidency.
You love to see it. Not only did Russia not pull some strings to get Trump elected, they were advocating for Hillary to get elected, and then after she was elected, because they thought it was inevitable, they were then going to delegitimize her presidency with compromising information. Bro, Trump getting elected was a shake-up to Russia, because they were like, fuck, we need a new game plan. Like, again, we all been saying this since 2016.
Damn, so they thought Hillary was going to win.
In the January 2017 intelligence community assessment that President Obama ordered, John Brennan, who was CIA director at the time, and the intelligence community...
So Putin was in on it? Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, I bet we probably have bad information that makes Russia look bad, too.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. All world governments are on this. Israel, Russia, Brazil, China, like no fucking South Korea, maybe even North Korea, I don't know. Like, all world governments are in on this, and all have fucking dirt on each other, and all blackmail each other, and all do, shit behind the scenes. And sometimes you got information that's right, sometimes you got information that's wrong. Sometimes it doesn't matter if the information is right or wrong, it just matters if you can convince people with the information, even if it is wrong, such as with the Russiagate collusion scandal bullshit that we all know is wrong. Like, it's just about narrative spinning and crafting. Like, yeah, absolutely.
That we don't share.
Intentionally
never play a card unless you have to. Why would you do that?
Intelligence that showed Putin was saving the most damaging material that he had in his possession about Hillary Clinton
in power,
until after her potential and likely victory.
Exactly.
The report goes into great detail about the information that Russia and Putin had on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts like secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which State Department officials offered, in exchange for supporting Secretary Clinton's campaign for the presidency, significant
Thank you, Ron.
increases in
Appreciate
financing
you.
from the State Department. They also had documents that showed the patronage of the State Department to State Department employees who would go and support Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign.
I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think they made this bullshit up to make Trump look bad? I think they absolutely did. If I was Obama, I'd probably want to do that shit too. Trump spent fucking 5.
But remember, when he says they made this shit up to make Trump look bad, they is not the left. They is not the Democrats. I mean, that's what they want you to believe. It's so much easier to divide us if it's just one side. But that is not the actual they. The actual they is the uniparty. The bureaucrats in control that don't change regardless of what party's in power. Because as long as they stay in control, as long as they have a say, who cares if it's the left or the right? The they is actually the uniparty.
5 years talking about how Obama was from Kenya. Of course Obama's going to try to fuck Trump. Of course he's going to try. Absolutely.
The deep state. Yes,
yeah, bro,
Radnad.
He spent fucking years going around telling everybody that you're a fucking Kenyan. Yeah, absolutely you're going to do that. Huh? Yes.
There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence
You gotta be
of
honest. You gotta
Hillary's,
be
quote,
realistic.
psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled
saying
fits
the way
of
it
anger,
is.
aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers
Hold up.
and cheerfulness, and that then of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression.
I'll be real. I thought this was old news. Like I could be wrong, but I could swear we already knew about Hillary being like jacked up on tranquilizers and medication and shit. She's like fucking falling over at press conferences and shit. She's like, and she's like looking off in these weird fucking directions, and like she's having trouble swallowing her drink. Like I thought we already knew about this. Am I making this up, or are these people just so uninformed they didn't know, or they forgot about it, the memory hold it because the news cycle is insane?
And cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers.
Dude, I remember this video. This shit's funny as shit. Bro, she just fucking goes limp, dude. she died suddenly,
Hillary's,
sort of
quote,
shit.
Emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers.
That sucks, bro. Like, that's damn. It's sad. Yeah, she crazy. The thing.
Like when the adrenochrome ain't even strong enough to keep you standing because the tranquilizers are when the tranquilizers are stronger. Maybe you need better baby blood. Maybe stop using like Walmart brand retarded kid baby blood. Use that high class rich kid baby blood. Start abducting the children and the babies from like the Rockefellers and shit, and use their baby blood so that you can live forever. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, she a crazy bitch, bro. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god. They had to put this bitch on tranquilizer? Think about that. You gotta do that for like a bull.
Then CIA Director Brennan
Toddler T is diabolical,
Right.
AJ.
intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump.
She wasn't the first Biden, Patrick. No, like there's a history of presidents having mental decline and the media, or physical decline, or both, and the media hiding it because it would make our country look weak and whatnot. Like that's yeah, no, Biden wasn't the first, Hillary wasn't the first. Like there's a whole ass history on our presidents maintaining power even after mental and physical decline.
Brennan and the IC misled lawmakers by referencing
Well, it wasn't even that Putin developed a clear preference. It was that back then Hillary Clinton was like way harsher on saying.
Yeah,
negative
exactly.
stuff about
FDR
Russia.
and Polio. It's an excellent
She
example on
was. She
Netflix
went
forum.
way harder on Russia. And one of the different reasons why I think people voted for Trump in 2016 is that Trump didn't want to escalate tensions between Russia and the U.S. So it would logically make sense that, at least from the Russian perspective, Trump would be more preferential, at least from a public perspective. Yeah, this was, yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing this happen. I was there.
debunked Steele dossier
No, they didn't. They absolutely did. What do you mean? Who else was there? Who else remembers this?
to assess, quote unquote, Russia's plans and intentions, falsely suggesting that this dossier had intelligence value when he knew that it was discredited. The intelligence community excluded significant intelligence and ignored or selectively quoted
Warbin, you were entirely incorrect. Warbin 55 says a real push to make this country socialist, and it didn't just start happening. That's just they just started pushing it hard after COVID. Okay, I misread that. You're right. It didn't just start happening, but they've been slow rolling this since the 60s. They have been slow rolling communism since the fucking 60s, dude. That post-McCarthyism, socialism slow roll, baby. Socialism boogie.
reliable intelligence that contradicted the intelligence community assessment's key findings on Putin's alleged support for Trump.
Man.
Including this intelligence reporting would have exposed the
I misread you, Warbin. My bad.
Implausible, if not ridiculous. The intelligence community assessment.
So why wouldn't they try to get Trump elected? Simple. It's because if they interfered in the election, it would be too high risk of an action, and it would cause too much blowback if it was discovered. They also might not have had the technology or the ability to do it with a 100% certainty to get away with it, and it's unpredictable. That's the reason why.
Boom!
Yeah,
So is
that's
ready.
the same reason why Putin released it. So
Sorry, I
naive.
couldn't resist, Ron's right.
No, you're actually the one that's naive because you're not thinking about this. You're thinking about this one step ahead. There's a reason why Putin has been in charge of Russia for like 30 years. It's because he's extremely intelligent, he's brutal, cunning, and I just think it's crazy how many people.
I'm saying that deserves some gifted memberships, Ron.
Isn't
Just
that
saying.
weird?
I gave you a
How does
freebie.
that happen? Yeah, he's an ex-KGB agent. Like, he's not stupid at all. And so anyway, like, basically, the reason why he didn't release the negative stuff about Hillary Clinton is because he was worried that there's a chance or a probability that it could also galvanize the public against Russia because they could see Russia as now attacking Hillary Clinton, and then it could have the opposite effect. Whereas if he released it when...
I mean, I don't know that it would galvanize people against Russia, because at least by my memory, we've always been against Russia, or back in the day, the USSR. Like, you can maybe say that our mistrust of the Russians took a back burner due to 9/11 and the post 9/11 Middle Eastern conflicts, and all the American people's focus was on the Middle East, kind of leaving Russia to their own devices to fade into obscurity compared to the villains they once were. And you can see this. You can see this in Hollywood for real. Like, dude, look at pre-USSR, movies made during the USSR. All the bad guys always communists, and for several years, even after the fall of the USSR, you still had like a post-communist, post-communism world where they were still always the villains. Then 9/11 happens, and what happens? All the baddies become terrorists or Middle Easterners, dude. All of them. Like, again, that is media and Hollywood manipulation at its finest.
She was president, it would have a guaranteed effect of negatively impacting her.
Yes, commies are worse than Nazis.
And also,
Agreed,
you could use
Dempsey.
that for leverage later on down the road against her directly. Whereas whenever she's not the president, you can't use that for leverage. Bullshit? No, it's not bullshit. It's not bullshit. It's common sense. Like, just think about it. Think about it. Never play a card unless you have to. Yeah, it's an ace up the sleeve. Yeah, you never go and do that. Yeah, it's blackmail 101. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm surprised that so many people... A lot of people don't understand anything beyond basic cause and effect, and even that's hard for people to understand.
You can tell what people in these various political chats do and don't play Magic the Gathering. I'm gonna be real, dude. You can straight up tell who does and doesn't play Magic the Gathering based on how binary their thinking is. Like, if you're a Magic the Gathering player and you're playing a blue deck, every single turn you end, every single turn when you say, all right, pass my turn to the next player, you always leave 2 untapped blue lands. Why? Because if you leave 2 untapped blue lands, they don't know if you got a counter spell in your hand or not. They could go to play their game-winning spell, but if they see 2 untapped lands, they're like, shit, they might be able to counter it. They might be able to fucking cast counter spell for that 2 blue mana. And they're going to hold up. Now, you might not have a counterspell. Your deck might not even have a fucking counterspell in it. But just the potentiality of you having a counterspell with 2 untapped blue lands going to make them rethink their whole gameplay strat. They either now got to force you to tap those 2 blue lands. Dude, it is psychological warfare before it, like at the beginning of the game, before it even matters. You might not know what deck your opponent's playing. They might not know what deck you're playing. Like, dude. You could tell who plays MTG based on how they think about the world.
But there are oftentimes decisions that people make where they lose a battle to win a war. And I think that's very clearly what his perspective is. Yeah, it's wasteful playing it early. You need to ban these idiots. They're doing this shit on purpose to distract. I just think that people don't understand the way that you make decisions this way, right? Why are you surprised? Do you understand actual subversion? I think I do. I think that I have a better understanding of it than most people, at least. I don't think I understand it as well as Putin does, but based off of what his decisions were, it seems like
40K Empress coming in hot with a raid. You love to see it. Gamer Empress, you absolute legend. Thank you so much, girly. Bingo, bango, bongo. You didn't need to, but you did.
Women.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Raiders. Mad props and shout out to 40K Empress. If y'all ain't familiar with her content, she a beast and you need to sub to her. We love 40K Empress in this bitch.
they made sense based off of my understanding of subversion. It does. I spent a lot of time on the internet, playing games, dealing with people in business with stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not a wizard. Like, there's people that know a lot more about it than I do. But I bet if you ask them, they'd say the same thing I am. Go ask them.
Omitted reliably sourced information, such as how some Russian intelligence officials were quote-unquote planning for candidate Hillary Clinton's victory, while others assessed neither Trump nor Clinton.
And by the way, Russia wasn't the only one. Russia wasn't, dude. Every country in the fucking world, not just Russia and America, every country expected a Hillary Clinton victory. Shit, I expected a Hillary Clinton victory, even though like it was one of those like heart of hearts. I knew Trump would win. I remember sitting there on election night 2016, being like, bro, Trump should win this. It's obvious he should win this. But then I was getting real nervous. About what was happening. I remember the cheers and shouts of victory, not just at Cookie's house, because me and Cookies didn't live together at the time. I was over watching the election shit at his house while we were drinking beers and playing Smash Bros. Melee. And, like, not just the cheers in our house that erupted that night, but in that whole ass fucking neighborhood. And it wasn't just cheers because Trump won. It was cheers because what everybody expected to happen didn't happen, and because that was the first sign of the deep state losing. Every country, every intelligence agency, from Israel to fucking, again, Brazil, Japan, the UK, all of them bitches thought the U.S., thought that Hillary was going to win.
Respect Russia's interests. Yeah. As was reflected in the ODNI documents that we released on Friday, multiple intelligence community assessments released in the months leading up to the November 2016 election concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election.
Yep.
On December 5th of 2016, the FBI and ODNI gave the House Intelligence Committee its first post-election classified briefing, in which there was no mention of Putin aspiring to elect Trump by either agency. The
And
president.
that's the thing too, is that even if they thought Putin was trying to get Trump elected, they didn't have a reason to. They didn't have a defined reason. It was just like a,
Exactly. I was literally just about to bring this up, dude. Obama ordered FBI surveillance and government overreach programs on Trump with literally zero evidence that Russia, A, wanted to get Trump elected, B, was pulling any strings to get Trump elected. Like, this was subversion of the will of the American people to the max. But remember, biggest controversy, tan suit.
yes. If they do arrest him, I would be shocked, but we'll see what
Agreed,
happens,
Jam.
right?
Deep State ain't lost
I
nothing.
don't know. And let's see here. Operation No Obama was finding it out there.
Man, what do you mean you don't know, Asmongold? Shut the fuck up. You know. Everybody good goddamn knows they ain't arresting Obama. Obama will never get a perp walk. Ever. Like, by the way, presidential immunity, to my knowledge, now I ain't no fucking constitutional scholar or nothing, presidential immunity goes beyond the presidency. So they would need to overcome that, excuse me, to even get him to perp walk. To my knowledge. Again, I could be wrong. But, yeah, no. If, and it's a big-ass if arrests are made, it will be some low-level bureaucrat fall guys. And that's it. Yes, he did, Kalika. Yes, he did.
It says he committed treason.
Months leading up to the November
this
2016
is it.
election concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election.
Right, but Dempsey, I challenge you this. If that's the case, then why have no presidents been charged for their atrocities and war crimes after after their term as president has ended? Presidential immunity does, in fact, extend beyond their presidency.
On December 5th.
We've been listening there to
Nothing
the
ever
Director
happens?
of
Yeah, I
National
know.
Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, continuing on what has now been a multi-day effort, not only with public statements like this, but
He's
releasing...
doing everything he can to
Oh,
distract.
my bad, Dempsey. I read that as you were saying that he didn't have immunity. If I misread that, my bad. I apologize.
People, dude. Well, I feel like you can always say
Oh,
he's trying
okay,
to distract
okay.
from the Epstein
Yeah.
documents, but in my opinion, like if you tried to manufacture a conspiracy as the sitting president to delegitimize the next president and like to basically blame it on a foreign power, I feel like that kind of, I don't know, is that treason or not, but I feel like that should be against the law. I mean, it's definitely you did something wrong, didn't you?
Well, it is against the law. Is it considered sedition as opposed to treason? I don't know. I'll be real. I don't know. But either way, it's illegal as fuck. And even if it isn't illegal, which it is, but it's still a blatant disruption to the people you are supposed to serve as a politician, as a public figure, as a representative of the will of the people.
It's pretty fucking obvious. Yeah. Like Biden, it's way bigger. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's treason because it's seditious. Yeah. It's something like that. And so, yeah, totally jail worthy. Yeah, absolutely.
They believe that no one, especially the president, is above the law.
Well, we're going to find out how true that really is.
We will be releasing further documents tomorrow.
By the way, the president is, in fact, above the law. All these motherfuckers are above the law. So they got money, and they got influence, and they got control. Dude, fucking Hollywood actors are above the law. Like I could be wrong, but did Sean Penn ever get jail time for tying Madonna to a chair and beating the ever-loving shit out of her? And I get it. It's Madonna. She probably deserved it. But, like, seriously, if you got money, you are above the law. It ain't just fucking politics.
That will refute that.
When you are no longer convenient to whatever their plans are, then you are no longer above the law.
Statement, and I would go back and point to, and we will be pulling a whole host of statements that were made by the Obama administration, by Hillary Clinton, by senior Democrat officials, by their friends in the media that state over and over again after this January 2017 manufactured intelligence document was created, that repeat the narrative. And I'm looking at my notes here. New York Times says Russian hackers acted to aid Trump in the election. Obama's CIA Director John Brennan says there's
Sleep well, 40K Empress.
among us to support the CIA claim Russian hackers aided Donald Trump's election. Hillary Clinton said, I would be president if not for the Russian hackers supporting Donald Trump. So there is a vast body of evidence and intelligence that debunks and refutes this statement you've just read and others coming from some of the Democrat leaders in Congress today.
Man.
And there it is, boys. There it is. If you didn't know, I don't know how you didn't know unless you don't follow politics fucking religiously like your boy does. Yeah. Obama, criminal. As if there was any fucking surprise. I would love to do more reaction streams with you, Blue Collar. I would love to. You gotta hit me up, homie. If I'm not streaming or prepping a video or anything, I would love to. Alrighty, I'm gonna put a poll in the chat. We can either do, I can call it here, or we can do one more reaction. I value your guys' time, and we got plenty of streams today, because not only do I have this stream, we got Saturday Night Hypnosis, we got Zach's stream afterwards, then me and Cinny are streaming after that. So I still got 3 more streams, the most recent was starting in about 3.5 hours. But and I know many of you motherfuckers are going to be watching those as well. So I want to respect your time. So I will let you guys know. I will give you guys the option. All right, one more reaction. I will let this poll sit until 3:25 my time. That's 3 minutes. And we'll go from there. No, here's the deal, Warbin. I don't got a problem going a little bit longer. I can definitely do one more. But I know that all y'all got real lives, and you're going to be showing up for all these other streams and whatnot. So again, I'm trying to be respectful of you guys. So yeah, like I said, I'll give this 3 minutes. Because I'm not doing anything else today. I mean, shit, when this stream's over, I'm probably going to just be prepping for a fucking video for tomorrow. Or maybe playing some video games. Or making some steak. Maybe all that. But yeah, so for me, it's no big. Clee Gamer got the day off. Overwhelmingly, yes. Fuck me, what's the temperature out there? Temperature where I live right now is... Yesterday was over 100. Right now it is... I shit you not, it just said very hot weather. What's the actual number? Right now it is 93. Let me show you guys this. Dude. It is hot out now at 93. It will be very hot from 4 p.m. To 5 p.m. That is funny as shit. And also, what is it with the humidity? Because I bet it's actually hotter than 93. Like, it feels hotter because of humidity, if I had to wager a guess. 95 where I'm at in New York. My truck was 105. I'm gonna do fuck that. Yeah, it was over 100 yesterday. It's all right. I'm just gonna end the poll now. It is overwhelmingly yes. So we will do one more reaction. All right, let me see. What is? Let's see, high humidity can be 90 degrees, feel like 100 plus. Yeah, exactly. I'm surrounded by lakes where I live, dude. I'm surrounded by lakes where I live. All right. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let me see what's in my recommended. And if not, we've got this Ghislaine Maxwell one. That could be interesting. But let me see what's in my recommended. A dehumidifier? Nah. I like the heat. I'm fine with the heat. I don't mind the heat at all. I would much rather summer than winter. And the humidity doesn't really bother me aside from what it does to my hair. I don't like it makes my hair all frizzy, but that'd be about it. Alright. That's about needs to make the games. Alright, it's Cass. Archcast is live. Alright, you guys want to do something political or do you want to do something nerd culture oriented? Political and nerd culture oriented. Again, I do this shit for you. These lunch hour streams for you. So let me know what y'all prefer. Alright, so Twisted Reality says nerd culture. Clown Contest Maxwell. Fat Roller says nerd. Hacker says Umama Musami. What the fuck is Umama Musami? Is that fucking horse game or whatever? Overwhelmingly, everyone says nerd culture. That's the route we're going. So let me see what's interesting in that regard. I don't know what. Okay, it is that horse racing game. Nah, I did a reaction to that like last week or whatever. That shit was gay as fuck. Like it was. I like just some other weird ass gotcha racing game. I mean, if you enjoy it, by all means, go for it. That shit was gay as fuck. I had never even heard of it until then. Let's see. Is there anything in the Discord? Or should I go through my recommendations? Let's take a look here. Let's see. Discord, React requests. No, nothing new in there. So what is interesting? Y'all gonna have to bear with me. I'm just scrolling through YouTube to see the asteroid spaceship. No, that's Aonuma or something. I covered the itch.io stuff yesterday. A lot, actually. So much of this is like lo-fi stuff in my recommended because that's what I do when I game. I listen to a lot of lo-fi. Oh! Alright. How about this one?
Bombshell information has come out in the last 20 to 20.
What do you guys think about this? Chibi Reviews, Elon Musk joins fight against Visa censoring anime and manga. What do you think? Is this yay or a nay? You put something in the React request for later? Based. I will check that out. Let me take a look here. Oh, that's not a reaction, Dempsey. I've already seen that video. I actually watch that dude's Doom content all the time. I watched that video like 2 weeks ago or something. Yeah, that was awesome. That was super awesome. All right, I guess we're going with this one. Elon Musk joins fight against Visa censoring anime and manga. Let's go, son.
Bombshell information has come out in the last 20 to 24 hours ever since I made my video yesterday about Yamada Taro getting officially elected in Japan. He's someone that...
Which we reacted to that video he's referring to, by the way. For those of you that missed it, we reacted to it, I think actually last night. Last night or Wednesday. So if you're not familiar with the previous video that he's talking about, just go watch my VOD after this, and you'll know.
Is very pro-freedom of expression. He is someone that is anti-censorship, and he's also a very outspoken and big advocate for fighting back against payment processors like Visa and MasterCard. And so when he won the election yesterday, it was a big step in the right direction, because for years now, Japan has been facing a crisis. You have these payment processors like Visa and MasterCard that has been forcing their will upon Japanese culture and
I did Glee Gamer, but those aren't really conducive to what we do on these streams, plus they are super long. I would have to dedicate almost like one stream to those entire videos, so I just unfortunately can't really do that.
Small businesses, big businesses, you know, small retail stores and everything in Japan to self-censor themselves, or they will not be able to make money. For those that are wondering why Visa and MasterCard have so much...
Can we fucking talk about the way people talk for a moment? Hypno does this gay shit too. To self-censor themselves. Yes! That's what self-censorship is. Just say self-censorship or censor themselves. Don't say self-censor themselves. That's fucking grammatically retarded.
Wait, behind them, it's because
what up,
they
Flaccid?
are the card that transfers your money from your bank to being able to make a purchase. They're the middleman, so to speak. And these individuals have so much power and have so much weight and grip on cash flow that if they don't work with you, most likely your business is not really going to be able to make money. So you can see why a lot of
there is no most likely. Your business will not be able to make money. Short of having some super niche exclusive business that's incredibly expensive products that relies only on crypto, you are not making money. Now, I'll be real, I can't think of a legal business that runs itself like that.
businesses in Japan have been self-censoring themselves because involvement of these payment processors like Visa and MasterCard. And I've made multiple videos on this topic going on length of how this is bad and how dangerous it is, and we had a brief glimpse at just how dangerous this really is getting, at least into the mainstream audience, which happened a few days ago. Now that the stage has been set, I can finally talk about all the new stuff that's came out about Collective Shout and payment processors.
Bro, look, I like Elon, but Elon gotta stop gobbling that Grum's knob, dude. It is getting old, man. Like, Grum's kind of fucking retarded. He gotta stop gobbling that Grum's knob.
And censorship and everything for the last 20 to 24 hours. And as you can see, I have a lot of different tabs opened up here at the top of the screen, and I'm going to be going over all of these in this video, but I wanted to focus on this first because what this represents is an
Alright, we talked about this, actually. We talked about this on Neon Leon last week, maybe? I think it was Neon Leon last week. We talked about this exact post. Guys, this is old news. Like, I covered this shit last year. Grum's reposting this. Yeet talking about like it's new. r/gaming bringing it up. This shit is from December of last year. This shit over half a year old. Like, I'm glad people are catching on and talking about it now. But where the fuck were you 7 months ago when entire ass manga sites were shut down for unclean images or whatnot that Visa and MasterCard in Japan were not willing to be payment processors for because it could damage their brand? Like, Jesus Christ, people, get with it.
Escalation of the payment processor issue, and what was once a very niche story, what was once not very well known and only select very niche communities were aware of, like for instance anime and manga communities and even some parts of the gaming community, now it's reached into the area of mainstream to where those that are not even associated with gaming, anime, and manga are going to become aware of the payment processing issue. It spreads awareness and basically showcases that it's no longer something that can be easily ignored, especially when you have one of the richest people in the
You know, you would think, you would think that one of the founders of PayPal, Elon Musk, would know all about the evils of these payment processors. But, we need to get X payments going soon. Yes? And who are those X payments going to go through, Elon? Probably fucking Visa or MasterCard. Jesus Christ, dude.
Entire world commenting on the situation. So what does this represent? What does this post mean? Well, I need to give clarification on what Yeet is.
Guys in the chat, specifically Ron is right, but anyone, just say fucking Nazi. It's fine. Stop self-censoring. We ain't the fucking left. You can say Nazi. It's cool. So they might not let you say it in super chat. If you need to self-censor to send me money because YouTube won't allow you to, fair enough. I will understand that. I'm a capitalist first and foremost. But if you ain't sending super chats, just fucking say Nazi. It's fine. So people say prawn instead of porn, grape instead of rape. Stop infantilization of the fucking of our language. There you go, much better. Grok is a Nazi. Nazi. There it is. There it is. And yes, Hinata is better than Sakura.
Commenting on. So I covered this yesterday in my video, but this is the, gaming subreddit that made a post about Visa Japan, basically
I would
saying
appreciate
that,
if you did not say the N-word. That one will get me
and all
taken
that
down.
Anime and manga content, for clarification, all in the...
Like, Ron, I know that's the reason you're doing it. I do appreciate the whole not wanting to get the channel canceled. That being said, I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think saying the word Nazi in a chat is enough to get the channel taken down. Now, if you were out there, like, espousing Nazi propaganda or something, that might be. But Nazi has, context to it. Like, take actual fandom, for example. Those homo left-leaning douche canoes that have dying channels. I'm sure their chat spams stuff like Elon Musk is a Nazi, and they're fucking fine. So, yeah, I don't think just the word in isolation is enough to get the channel taken down. Or maybe this will be my last stream ever because I'm fucking wrong. Guess we'll see.
Name of brand protection. I made a complete video literally on this subject last year. And basically the game
So did I,
subreddit
Chibi, so did
managed to
I.
find that article yesterday, and they started to find out what Visa MasterCard has been up to and how it's contributing to what's happening to gaming. For instance, how Steam took down hundreds of games thanks to Collective Shout requesting those games to be taken down and basically talking to payment processors like, for instance, you know, PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, JCB. You get the point. But pretty much the gaming subreddit was getting up to date on the information, and they were becoming aware of the issue. Then we had Grums here comment on it, basically talking about the situation, which spread more awareness to eventually Elon Musk comment.
I said it last night. I will say it again. It's not trashing their brand. Nobody in the life of ever has said, I'm not going to use Visa now because Visa lets people buy Playboy. That shit never fucking happened. It's a lie. It's for control.
On it. Now, regardless if you like or hate Elon Musk, you find him cringe, you find him awful, whatever you want to say or apply to him, good or bad, one of the big things, the biggest takeaways from this, even if he might not do anything in terms of actually benefiting or helping everyone out, him commenting on the situation does spread awareness. And it means that it's going to reach more public eyes, more people are going to talk about the situation, which in turn could help the problem with censorship. It could...
The problem is how Elon talks about it. Look at this. We need to get X payments going soon. That does nothing to spread awareness. It doesn't. People's going to look at that and be like, okay, this is just a fucking advertisement for X payments or whatever. Like, Elon has definitely thrown his hat in the ring with certain topics, and it has shot that stuff into the stratosphere. Yes. Yes, I cannot deny that has happened. And I like Elon Musk. I know there are people that don't, whatnot. Fair enough. I like Elon. Dude's not infallible. Dude's made a fuck ton of mistakes. But overall, I think Elon is a net positive. That being said, him just making this comment, it's too vague. It doesn't actually address Visa, MasterCard, censorship, none of that. It's not going to get enough people to look further into it. Therefore, in this instance, I don't think it fucking matters. I would not say he's joining the fight against Visa censoring anime and manga.
Fight back. So this in turn is some good news. This is some light at the end of the tunnel, just depending on how you view it. I know there's going to be a lot of people that might try to spin this as a negative result because obviously Elon is kind of a controversial guy for people in different circles around the internet, so it makes a lot of sense. But regardless, I think him talking about it and bringing attention to it is pretty important, especially since he's one of the wealthiest people in the entire planet. So yeah, makes sense. Anyways, now, with that being said, though, he's made quite a few comments. I mean, he even retweeted a post that was directly calling out
fair enough,
MasterCard and Visa. You could see it right here. He literally reposted. So it shows that he is being an opposite.
All right, there we go. This is a much better use of Elon's, power than replying to a Grums thing. Elon reposting, there's now a petition to stop credit card companies and activists from controlling what we play, watch, and read. That is a far better way to spread the message. He could have quote tweeted it and said something. That probably would have been better, but just a regular repost is fair enough. That's definitely going to forcibly get more eyes on the situation.
Towards the payment processors, he is calling them out, which is a pretty big deal. I mean, once again, one of the wealthiest people in the entire planet calling you out says enough. So I don't know if necessarily him making a separate entity like X, like payments that he mentioned here in this other post will actually do anything.
It will not.
But I do think, like I said, him acknowledging the issue is a pretty big deal. Now, with that being said, we need to shift gears and talk about Collective Shout. Nothing is more damning than a pro-feminist activist organization running defense for cuties, of all things, especially when their entire brand...
Bro, we broke this down hard on Neon Leon the other week, or one of my streams. I don't remember which one it was. Like, this shit is funny as fuck. I have now been blocked by multiple of the Collective Shout individuals, for which I won't lie, feels like a fucking badge of honor. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. This is amazing.
Collective Shout's entire brand is to run defense for girls and women. But the fact that they straight up went out of their way to run defense for cuties, and then it wasn't just one post, but multiple posts on their main account defending cuties or retweeting people defending cuties, and even having one of their co-founders, this individual right here, actually straight up defending cuties as well and making...
Have I been blocked by her? I'm curious. I'm curious. Have I? You know what? Let's switch screens just in case I got DMs open. Okay, I don't have DMs open. Have I been blocked by Melinda, Tankard? Whoops. Sorry, doing this one-handed. Did I not spell it right? Hold on. How's it spelled? Okay, Mel Tankard Reist. Okay, so hold on. There we go. Has she blocked me yet? No, she is not. Several of her fucking cohorts, partners in crime has. She is not. I need to work her. Like, this bitch, Ellis Kennedy, has blocked me. There we go, yeah. This bitch has blocked me. I think Caroline Allison has as well. Oh, maybe she's not one of the ones that has. But yeah, either way, fucking badge of honor. You love to see it.
A giant, an absolutely Goliath post on Facebook about cuties. It is actually insane. Like, here's the post here. I'm just gonna pull it up. Like, look at how massive and a Goliath size like post to dissect cuties and say that it's a good thing that it came out because it you know,
I was unaware of this. Holy shit. Bro, that is disturbing. Bro, check this bitch's hard drive. Like, check this bitch's hard drive. That is some whack-ass shit. Because you know good goddamn well, these are the people that want to censor girls from buying makeup. You don't advocate for that sort of control unless you got some dark shit in you.
Oh, it needed to happen. It's a good film and all that. It showcases what's wrong or whatever in the world. And it's like, they are completely fine that, like, 11-year-olds...
Don't look it up, Ben. Don't look it up.
In a actual live-action movie, it's really grotesque. It's really disgusting to see. So what's crazy about this is that we have a pro-feminist organization that is meant to try to protect kids and women straight up defending cuties, when it's very obvious there's problems with that, okay?
I love that people, myself included to be fair, keep calling this a feminist organization because that is how they refer to themselves. But they are the opposite of what we think of as feminism because they are actually like radical, actually far right. I know the word far right gets thrown around all the time, but these are actually radical far right feminists. It's really weird.
It's Cuties is not fiction, okay? It's not, like, animated. It's not drawings. It's real kids in very exploitative, like, situations, okay? That's all I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna dive into the lore and talk about every little detail of it, but what...
That does not mean they're not far right, Netflix foreign. People on the right can be pedophiles as well. In fact, there's a fucking lot of them. Like, let's be real.
What I'm saying is, it's pretty damning and gross to see an organization running defense for that alone. However, there is a lot more to the story than just them being affiliated with defending cuties. We also have them having ties with the Australian government. So this individual right here, Jay Viper, he comments that majority of the members, that is literally...
Nice! Jay Viper getting a shout out in the Chibi Reviews video. You love to see it. Well done, Jay. Friend of the channel.
For Collective Shout, has some shape or form worked for the government or the public sector in Australia. And the pictures you're seeing here of the people and the names come directly from the main site of Collective Shout. If you scroll down, you can actually see them and how they pretty much broadcast what they've done and everything in the past and all that, and how pretty much like they might have worked in some parts of the government or still working in some parts of the government. It's some pretty damning stuff. You're probably wondering to yourself, how is them being connected to the Australian government relevant to the conversation about censorship and payment processors and everything else in between? Well, the reason why it's relevant is because we have a timeline of events. We have a timeline when Collective Shout decided to post their, petition in words to payment processors like PayPal,
Completely
Visa,
agree,
PaySafe
Khalifa
Discovery,
Gamer.
JCB. They went out of their way to contact all of these different payment processors on July 11th. Literally a week and a half ago. In 8 days, by the way, in 8 days after this was sent down, hundreds of Steam games got taken down, and Steam changed their policy to side with payment processors, which is strange, very strange. Like, an activist group shouldn't have this much power. So there was obviously something.
Because, as I keep saying, this activist group is the puppet, not the puppet master. They are connected to not just the Australian government, but I'd be willing to stake my entire reputation on various world governments, United Nations, and or World Economic Forum. Hundo would stake my entire YouTube reputation on it.
Behind the scenes, pulling some weight, doing some push, basically, to Steam to be able to make this happen. And so
I want to know the same thing,
speculation
Jamma.
right now is, and obviously this is allegations and speculation, but with all these members of Collective Shout having some form of connection with the Australian government, it makes sense now why maybe Steam responded so swiftly in under just 8 days, because these individuals at Collective Shout are probably working for the government or being paid by the government in some shape or form. So it's starting to make a lot more sense, the timeline of events. Now, once again, these are allegations.
Exactly,
this
Jamma.
Isn't factual yet. This isn't completely fact-checked that, the government is paying them or anything.
Bro, St. Hugo says, mount your emus. We got prison colony to repair. Fucking based and great mental image.
But it's very clear they have connections within the Australian government, and getting Steam to buckle in 8 days is strange. It is. That's not normal, them responding that quickly to a feminist activist group in Australia, of all places, and have it affect the entire world. Like, I also want to make sure...
What do you mean of all places? This should be expected for Australia. They effectively had COVID concentration camps. We all know Australia is very pro-censorship. What do you mean of all places?
I reinforce that. It's not the fact that this group managed to get games removed from Australia, but they got games removed globally.
Exactly, Blue Collar. Exactly.
Globally.
What up, Chill
So
Noir?
this one country, this one group in a country, managed to get an entire collection of games, hundreds of games, even if you disagree with the content of the games, hundreds of games removed globally. You see the issue there. Now, you're probably wondering why you're looking at such an ancient article from 2017, and trust me.
Yep, I covered this article as well. Cover this article, video games video games with porn type heroines are harming children, body image experts say. Of course, all these body image experts had ties to Collective Shout, are women, and are funded by the Australian government. Shocker!
I mean, it's very relevant, and it's going to blow you away once I reveal it, or if you haven't already noticed it. But basically, if you zoom in here to Melinda Tankard-Rice, you will literally see that this individual right here that is commenting about video game characters in fiction is the exact same person that was running defense for Cuties, but also the exact same person that is a co-founder of Collective Shout, as you can see here. So this person, in general, has been in the space, the gaming space, the journalist space, and all that for almost a decade plus.
Not almost a decade plus, a decade plus. This shit goes back to at least 2012, which would be, what, 13 years? 13 years? So yes, a decade plus. And that's assuming that it actually doesn't even go further back than 2012.
Commenting on stuff and trying to get games censored. It doesn't just stop here. It gets a lot deeper than that. Now, most of you might be unaware of who this is, but this is an Australian senator that tried to get all anime and manga banned back in 2020, which created quite a stink in 2020. A lot of content creators talked about it, for instance, like Lost Pod.
Yeah, I remember this. I wasn't making content at the time, but I do remember this situation.
The Anime Man, I Know I Did, and many, many others, basically. It was a big talking point within the anime and manga community back in 2020, and there was memes created of this, and this senator tried to argue that all anime and manga should be banned, and he used Goblin Slayer, Arrow Manga Sensei, No Game No Life, and Sword Art Online as examples to why it should be banned. And he goes off and starts talking about Goblin Slayer in a completely inaccurate way, pretty much saying like the whole...
None of this is new, by the way. None of this is new. Dude, look back at the history of the Looney Tunes. They tried to cancel the Looney Tunes because they were shooting guns and drinking alcohol. They're like, Bugs Bunny's gonna make kids want to drink alcohol. This sort of moral outrage is nothing new. It's not exclusive to anime or video games. Any American institution's gone through this shit. It was gay then, it's gay now.
Point of the series is for people to, you know, be basically
Catch you later,
sexualized
Ron.
and harmed or whatever, when the very main character is taking down goblins, destroying them because they're literally
Appreciate it,
a burden
Jamma.
to society and they are harming everyone involved. The whole point is to get rid of goblins, but the senator tries to argue that because the content exists in general, even if it's being depicted in a bad light, it means that it shouldn't exist. Basically, the story actively says the goblins are evil. I mean, that's the reason why Goblin Slayer exists. But he's saying that because there's taboo content in general with it.
What tipped you off to that? The fact that it was called fucking Goblin Slayer? Like,
it shouldn't exist. Everything about it should be banned. So you can see why there was a lot of people that had issues with this back in 2020. So you're probably wondering, how is this connected? How is this connected to Collective Shout? How is this connected to payment processors? Well, we're getting into that now. So this person, you can see I quote retweeted, is actually a member of, you guessed it, Collective Shout. They got their hands
It's
in
all
everything.
connected.
So if it's not them running defense for cuties, it's not them being affiliated with the government to some degree or ex-workers of the government, and having some very shady operations, being able to get Steam to remove games, hundreds of games in under 8 days, they now have actively worked with senators or cheered on senators to ban anime in the entirety of Australia. So this group has clearly been working in the background for a very long time, actively doing things maliciously, getting things censored and banned for a very, very long time. It can be traced back like basically a decade ago. There's tons of articles with their names attached to like gaming and just trying to get female characters censored or toned down and all that. It's very clear that there is something very big going on with this group. Obviously,
not only that, I say it, and every time we cover this, and I'll continue to say it, they have been successful. Not just with removing over 100 games from Steam, but as mentioned on SNH, as mentioned in my videos, as mentioned in my streams, if somehow you haven't heard it yet, in 2014, they got GTA 5 banned from Target and Kmart in Australia. You actively could not purchase Grand Theft Auto 5 publicly in Target or Kmart.
there is a big organization probably backing them, most likely the government.
Wrong, Chill Noir. They were effective. Like, the attack on payment processors is a new thing, correct. But they were effective before that. They have multiple W's under their belts. I did a whole, well, I didn't do a video on it. Savvy did, not reacted to it. Check that out. But yes, they have been successful for over a decade.
Because I don't think Steam would have buckled as quickly as they did if it wasn't some form of massive government kind of pulling the strings.
That's exactly
now,
what I
let's get into
said,
the topic
Chibi.
of payment processors. So payment processors clearly are trying to force different cultures and stuff to bend to their will to make as much money as possible, despite them obviously showcasing they don't really care about people because they allow OnlyFans to exist. They allow, payments and stuff to OnlyFans and, actual exploitive material to be existing on OnlyFans, but they will try to censor all fiction. And they'll listen to this activist group and all that says, hey, you're allowing Steam to use your payments to buy this goods. Why are you allowing this? It's very clear that these payment processors are just as malicious or even more so.
I do as well, Mr. Kruger. I was talking about that.
And it's crazy that
I literally talked about that on Saturday Night Hypnosis last week. What was the name of that bill? I said it on the show. Why am I blanking on it now? Net neutrality. Net neutrality.
Different governments around the world are even allowing this to happen in the first place, because at this point, Visa and MasterCard and everyone else that's affiliated might as well be a government in itself, because it's like they have so much power that they're not really tied to one single, I guess, country. They have multiple countries that they're tied with.
Yes, and I said the same thing last night. Collective Shout going through payment processors is because they know these payment processors are more powerful than the governments. They are. Why? Because even the governments use these payment processors. Bro, if you are the person that even the government goes to for financial management, you inherently have more powerful than the government. Just facts.
And they can just hold so much money.
Yes, like
and
the
keep
stream.
everyone under control. It's pretty concerning. So, to make a long story short, a lot of stuff has come out. A lot of crazy stuff. I wanted to bring to light this entire situation because it's very damning, and it showcases the complete hypocrisy of Collective Shout, these payment processors, and also how this information is reaching into the mainstream. Wanted to just get it all out there. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, stay healthy. She be out.
You love to see it. I like the way he's been handling the situation. Again, I'm relatively new to Chibi Reviews content. I've been following him on X for ages. I think that's only like the third Chibi Reviews video I've ever seen. Yeah, he's fine. I don't have anything. Like I said, I like the guy. I don't know if all of his takes are as good as this one or the ones I've been watching as of late, but they're good enough for me. And again, it's all stuff that I've already said. But the idea that there are multiple people saying it, that there's multiple videos being made about it, the whole nine, slowly but surely does sort of spread that message. But yeah, I guess that's about it. We're going to wrap it up here. We've been going longer than normal, which I'm A-okay with, and maybe we'll start doing these streams and make them go longer in the future. I'm not 100% sure because I just enjoy doing them. But that being said, let's figure out who we're going to raid. Let's see who's live. Let's figure out who we're going to raid. Let's see. Who we want. We'll do live. Alright, let's see. We got Haru Murata is going right now. Tommy's going right now. You know, let's raid Haru Murata. She deserves it. She's great. We're going to raid Haru Murata, Sheep Obsidian's wife. I actually known Haru longer than I've known Sheep. Not by much, but I have. She's great. Yeah, so we're going to end the stream. We're going to send you all on over to there. Guys, for those of you that don't know, I did put out a video earlier about my thoughts on the South Park situation, the South Park Trump debacle. In my opinion, it's a fucking banger video, so would truly appreciate you guys checking it out. Beyond that, I will see you all on SNH tonight, then on Zach's show after that, Cindy's show after that, and tomorrow I am going to see Fantastic Four. That's the thing. And I will honestly probably watch Happy Gilmore 2 as a fucking palate cleanser. Like, that's the Happy Gilmore 2 will be the fucking palate cleanser, if I had to guess. Haru Murata, Leon, Asian is coming out. Yeah, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Alright. We out. Thank you so much for the donations. Thank you everybody watching. I will see you all on Monday for my birthday stream. Countercast. Going to be a dope-ass show. I don't even know if I'm going to have a guest. I might just have it be my homies, since it's my birthday stream, as opposed to doing a guest. So, beyond that, make sure to like, subscribe, the whole nine. Check out the video tomorrow. I will see you all, because it is all here in the Nerdosphere, and this has been Words of Paradise.
So we can do what's Hondo on the mic from Leo's Paradise. Random stream drop like a Dragon Ball fight. No lie, plan stream stacking up, but here's a twist in time. Freestyling on the deck like Luffy's punchlines. Up the channel's faceting, Zoro sword swings. Gaming pop culture, it's the chaos he brings. Talking movie reboots, superhero hype. Hondo passing the mic, now Bishop's in sight. Cutting punch clean, frame by frame, I align. Laying bass lines heavy, keep the rhythm divine. Dropping 5 videos, can't keep up with the pace. Pass the mic back, Leo's leading the chase. Off the rails, no script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. No script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. No script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life.